Hello and welcome to another podcast. I'm joined by Vic again. This is Conan's son, and today we want to be talking about the new cards. We prepared a whole rating system over here that we'll explain in a moment, but I have two very skillful, very important guests from the lore community once more. The first one is the Shark El Tiburon Black Blanco, and he's the player who helped me qualify for seasonals and very good, very competent player. Tiburon, tell us something about yourself.
Well, first of all, thank you very much, Conanson, for inviting me to your podcast. I am very honored because of that. For my friends, could just call me Tibu, please.
Okay.
I am from Mexico. Right now, I am a manager and coach for ABG America. This is a new esports organization. I am former coach of what's Pandex Esports Lord team, and I am very, very happy to be also with my partners here, Zero and Wick.
Yeah.
I'm honored as well.
It's wonderful to have you both.
Okay, yeah, Zero, you are responsible for the European team, and I'm like a European player for the AVG team. It's planned at least. Okay.
Yeah, I'm your responsible actually in ABG because guys, I'm Zero, and as Conanson said, I'm manager for the EMEA team of ABG. I'm also manager for Legends of Runeterra Clash, which is an Italian organization because I'm from Italy, and I'm also the tournament organizer for the official Italian Legends of Runeterra Championship, and also some other TFT stuff, but we don't talk about TFT here. We're in a lore podcast, and
Yeah.
I'm honored as well, as Tibu said, to be here. Thank you for your invitation.
Perfect. So maybe just like one quick, what was your greatest success in lore? Just one single thing. What will you say was your greatest success, Tibu?
Oh, my greatest success. Well, actually, it was a team success. Okay, we had this league in Latin America called the LRA. It was the second most important league, just behind the LBR. It lasted for around 2 years since Legends of Runeterra began, and after the first 6 months, we became a playoff team, and after a year playing there, we became champions of the LRA, and then we also played in the first Runeterra Academy, that's now the Aegis, and we were the top Latin American team to reach playoffs. We ended up in the top 8 with Pandex, and as I told you, my achievements are mostly team achievements, collective achievements, and I am very happy to help people, and that's for me the top achievement I can have.
Okay, very good. Zero, what is your top achievement?
Yeah, as Tibu said, also for me, like I'm not as much of a player, even if I do play the game and I reach master every season. My biggest achievement was being able to hold and cast the Italian League finals from our gaming house. So that was the peak of my lore career, and I hope that I can repeat that again. We also casted the open seasonal broadcast, the open rounds broadcast for seasonal, following all the Italian players. It was literally the best moment in gaming in my life.
Okay, so very skilled players. Let's move on to our cards. We rate these cards from a grade from 1 to 10. There's no 0. And we rate them for competitive viability. We did these ratings separately, so we didn't look at each other, didn't like coordinate it. And like 10 would be a game-changing card that's like in every deck and warps the meta around it, like Contrologist, like Old Poppy, for example, would be like a 10. A 1 would be a card you would never put in your deck, or which is terrible, like there's very few cards actually are that terrible. You never put them into a deck. I would say Caustic Cast, but you can play it in burn deck sometimes, but just like a really terrible card that you would never ever play. And like 5 is in between, sometimes playable. We find a home is a 1-0, for example, and it just goes from there. So 10 is good, 1 is bad. And we have written those before, and have some arrest as an average as well. You can see them here on the top right of the screen. And yeah, we made them for all of these. And we started with the full packages. We have 4 new champions: Jhin, Annie, and Byrd, and Illaoi. And we first of all rated the full package. But before we go for the full package ratings, let's just start with the Jhin card themselves. Jhin is a 4-mana 4/4, very fitting. On attack, he deals 2 to all stun enemies and levels up once you've played 12 or more fast spells, slow spells, or skills. On his level 2, he then deals 4 damage to all stun enemies and also deals damage to the Nexus, so basically mini decimate. Also, he gains quick attack. The special thing about Jhin is he doesn't have a region. He's a Runeterra champion, and you can put him into your deck with any followers that has skills on him. So you can't put, he's basically count as a region, and you can have every follower that has a skill on it, like a Arachnid Sentry, stuff like that. And his extra ability, for every 3 fast, slow spells or skills you play, while in hand or on the field, you play a Lotus Trap. So the Lotus Trap is dealing 1 to the Nexus, or if he's in play, also stunning the weakest enemy. So like a very convoluted card, not easy to grasp. Very important, this passive only goes off if he's in hand or in play. So if you have your Jhin in hand, he pings your opponent for 1. If you have him in play, he also stuns units. And then of course, if he goes in for the attack, he deals damage to those stunned units. Okay, for our ratings, we were kinda on the same page here with, okay, the flip spell as well is like the Bouncing Grenade. It's like a special card. You deal 1, and then you create a second next round start, you then deal 4. So it's like typical. For our ratings, we all gave it a 7, except for Vic, who gave Jhin a 4. It's definitely the more fitting rating for Jhin, because he's I think everything's about 4. But Vic, why would you say he is not going to be very competitively viable?
I think Jhin as a card is pretty slow, clunky, and weak. And I think that the only part that is going to be really valuable for any competitive decks is the second half of his origin, the Virtuoso, which allows you to put any followers that have like the skill ability into your deck. I think Jin's going to be a one of, just so you can unlock that deck building. I mean, he doesn't have any keywords. He's a 4-mana 4/4, which is like a whatever body. He only deals damage to stun enemies, so you're attacking in, and you have to like commit so many things in order for him to like gain value. I don't know. And then he has to be beheld in order to like have the first part of his Virtuoso proc. His his champion spell is pretty whack. I don't know. I just don't think that he's going to be that crazy. I think he's just a whatever card.
Okay, can definitely see that. Zero, what do you think about Jhin? Why do you give him a 7?
I think even if Jhin, as Vic said, maybe not strong enough on his own, I think that the Virtuoso passive might just be enough to work the meta around him. So that means that maybe you're not playing 3 Jhin in his deck, but you're just playing him for the Virtuoso passive. Just to be able to put all those followers with skill spells, especially since we saw Annie, and we are gonna talk about Annie later. So yeah, that's the reason. Basically just for the Virtuoso.
Okay, Thibaut, any other opinions? Anything you want to add?
Well, I cannot be repetitive, so I pretty much agree with what Zero said. I see the same thing as he saw. So
okay. I'm sad that you all just see the Virtuoso part. I think the body is actually fine, just a 4-mana 4/4. I don't know if the ability will be very good, but I will definitely try to make a Jhin Yasuo and a Jhin Swain deck work. Will it be good? Probably not, but we'll definitely try. So we are all agreeing that this Virtuoso power is very strong, and we will just have to see.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because you guys are rating him very highly for the only thing that I care about, and the only I didn't think that was going to be enough for him as a card. Like, I feel like if he's a one of and you don't even want to draw him in most of the decks that are going to be powerful with him, I don't think that he deserves to be a 7. Does that make sense? Like, just for one line of text?
Well, yeah, because I think it's a value that it gives to the deck, right? And,
Yep.
That's why, because I think yeah, I am with you that stat wise it's very average. He doesn't have any other stuff like quick attack or something else. They don't give any. He doesn't give anything to the board or whatever. But what I see is the value that you can have, especially with other champions that come in this new set.
Okay, yeah, definitely. We will see how it turns out. I watched a little bit of, we all could watch a little bit of gameplay already. It's not live for us yet when we record this, but it's like pre-release. Some streamers have access to it, and Jhin and Annie definitely seems like the most competitive new deck. But we will have to see and find out how it works. By the way, the Dancing Grenade, the champion spell, you can only get it from Jhin. You can't actually put this card into your deck. The other copy, the normal Dancing Grenade, just exists because if you have like play like Spell Sleeve and stuff like that, that's why you have this card. Okay, next card on our list is the new Ionia spell, Gruesome Theater. 2 mana, recall a unit with 3 or less health. That's a fast spell in Ionia. And I don't really see the combo here with Jhin, but I just listed it under the Jhin cards because it was reviewed with him. We all are pretty even on it. Conan, so I gave it a 5, Vic a 4, 0 a 6. Tibu, you were very optimistic on this card. You gave it an 8. Why is that?
Well, I played some of Ionian decks, that cannons, the Aries, all types of decks. So yeah, so recall is important. So, and also as a defensive tool for Ionia, it's a great defensive tool for a very cheap cost, especially with a lot of aggro decks, for example. And you can recall some champions that's also very strong. So I think it's a very good card, a defensive card. It has a lot of flexibility because you can also recall your units. It's not only the enemy units. So I think it's mostly because of the cost and the flexibility it can have, because you can combo it, as I said, with some archetypes, but also you can carry it just to defensive purposes.
My follow-up question would be, we have a similar card already with Quicken in Battle City, and this one didn't see almost any play at all by a recall unit with 3 or less attack. Would you say there's a significant difference here between Quicken and the Theater card?
Well, as I said, it's just if you played enough these archetypes, you will value what's come with the recall. So, for example, I climbed to Masters this season with Earthreal Cannon, actually, and I had a 70 plus or 70 plus percent win rate. That's huge. So I needed all the recall cards I could get, and as I say, in the specific archetypes, and if you know how to use it in the specific situations, you can get a lot of value out of this card. Of course, I don't know. I think many players don't want to play those type of decks, and I'm maybe just biased in my own experience, but that's the way I see it.
Okay. Vic, you were the least optimistic. Do you want to add anything on the card?
Yeah, I did. And I actually kind of wanted to make a quick reference to Quicken, the 2 mana Battle City spell that you mentioned. I think the fact that it's in Battle City makes it a lot weaker than Gruesome Theater. I think Gruesome Theater, because it's in Ionia and it fits in with a lot more of the recall packages, and with Ionia's identity of being able to defend and protect their own units, I think this spell is actually going to be used primarily to be reactive to opponents trying to remove your cards, and I think it's just going to be too niche. And that's why I kind of rated it too low. When trying to rate these cards, I tried to imagine, like, am I going to be seeing this card every game? and I don't think I will. I think it will be very good in specific decks. So I don't think it's strong. I think it will empower existing archetypes, but I don't think it. But it also does bounce MF on 3, which is really, really strong.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Okay.
The problem with what we just said, like bouncing a MF on 3, it's that, at least in my opinion, it's conditional, because when you have like Duran Sculptor and
no!
4 HP, it suddenly becomes much difficult. But the one thing I agree with you, and that's why I rated this card as a 6, because on average, it's much more difficult to give units health than to give them attack. So Quicken could be countered in many more ways than this card can, and I think this card will be super, super strong against some definite archetypes or some early aggression, because many of the early aggression units and decks that like early aggression don't have tools to protect their units from this kind of cards. So yeah, I rated it as a 6. I stand by my opinion, but yeah, I think in some decks, especially like Ionia Control, combo type of decks, this card can be very good.
Mm-hmm. Very interesting.
I also think it's also very funny because you can put this card on the stack with a damaging spell before it, and get the unit below the 3 health.
No, it doesn't work.
No, you can't.
No.
Oh, because you can't even click on it. You're right. Never mind. I'm stupid.
Anyways, let's move on to the next card here. And that's the Stagehand. Let me open it up as well. This one's the 2-mana 4/4. Here it is. 2-mana 4/4 ephemeral. And on play as a skill, you stun an enemy. And we have a clean split here. Me and Vic say it's only a 4. Tiburon and Zero, you say it's an 8.
Wow.
And like most of the very competitive players I've heard said this card is insane, and there's like no in between with this card. Either it's insane or it's like bad, I would say. My reasoning why I think it's kind of bad is like I can see the upside. You get a free jump blocker or a free blocker. You get the stun, enable flock and stuff like that, and maybe even like elusive synergies, ephemeral synergies. But I have never seen an ephemeral card that is actually good. Maybe like the Aching Sands from Treasure Seeker, but I will not believe an ephemeral card is playable until I actually see it. So, Thibaut, what do you think about this card?
Well, its cost, for example, for Ionia, I think it's a good card, for defensive or dissuasive purposes and also for attacking purposes, because think about it, it's like a decimate cost 2. So if you want to stop it from the early game, you need to trade, and at this stat line, it trades a lot of units, especially in the early game. So I think it's pretty much a useful card for that purposes that I say. And for example, it doesn't take you more than just to play it, and it's there. So it gives you like sometimes the disadvantage of dissuading your opponent to attack into this 4/4 that it's ephemeral, so he will lose probably value or a unit for an ephemeral, or he will either need to decide to let this 4 damage pass and to block or lose a more valuable unit against an ephemeral. And that's pretty much what I see there.
So you're saying you're playing this in an aggressive Ionia list, but most aggressive Ionia lists are kind of elusives. That's why I problem with the card, like it isn't elusive, and if you have like 10 elusives on the board or on a deck and like one non-elusive, they will always have a non-elusive blocker. Do you think of a new Ionia aggressive archetype?
It wasn't like I said, it's more like, it's a decimate cost 2, because, if you want to defend, like I said, then you must trade. If not, you just take 4 to the face.
Mm-hmm.
And for example, let's say in Scouts at turn 3, you play this, and you trade most of the units. You avoid misfortune to attack. Some people do attack. I don't know why, but attack with misfortune. or you just attack if they decide not to block and just eat the 4. It's 4 damage. That's a lot of damage coming your way.
That's fucking hot.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
actually.
Yep.
Okay, Zero, you just agree, or do you want to add another point?
Yeah, this card can just do whatever you want. Like, as Tibu said, like against Scout, you just make them AFK for 1 turn. Like, be it the attack turn or the defense turn, it's just a super powerful tool. But also against, for example, Pantheon Yumi, because usually, like, if you play it on turn 2 or on turn 3, you completely deny their turn in some way. You deny their attack. You force them to either block or take the damage. Also, like, this card completely destroys aggro. Like pirate aggro, spider aggro, they cannot do anything. Like, because this card is a fearsome blocker, you can play it in your defensive turn. You can just stun 1 spider and block the fearsome, or just get basically 1 more turn to live because you are denying the attack. It's
or even against Pantheon, you play this and good luck buffing your fated and trying to defend. Yes,
I mean, you can still Cataclysm it, but I get what you mean. But yeah, it's definitely has potential. We have to see which side is right. But yeah, I can definitely see the potential, but I'm not convinced until I actually see it in action. So let's find out in the future. Then we have one last card for Jhin, the Maker. And this guy was revealed over here. It's a very interesting card. 3 mana, 3/2, Ionia. And for play as a skill, recall a unit with less power than me. So this checks when it actually happens. And so if you kill it in response to the skill on this deck, you don't recall at all. If you buff the unit, and it also doesn't get recalled. We mostly agreed on this being like playable. I and Zero gave it a 6, Tibu a 7, Vic gave it a 4, being in line with Jhin. But Vic, why don't you like this card?
I mean, it's just bad. Like, what are you trying to recall for 2? Like, you can recall your own stuff, I guess. Like, that's kind of cute, but like,
can we call a Broadwing?
I don't know.
A droplet?
A Broadwing. Like
Yeah, you can. Okay, sure. You can recall one thing in the meta that's really, really annoying. And scouts are very strong. I feel okay. So it's unfortunate that like a lot of these cards, as soon as I start evaluating them, I just think about scouts, which is like really, really traumatized with me. Like scouts have just been pounding me on ladder lately because that's all that anybody's playing because they just want to like rank up. But I don't know. I think this card's just bad. It's like it's like the best part about it. It's like it's a fearsome blocker. That's kind of neat. I don't know. It's 3 mana. It's like it's a 3 mana 3/2. Like I don't.
Okay, Zero.
I just don't see it.
Try to convince Vic. Zero, over here. Try to convince Vic that it's actually playable.
I mean, I think this card, as you mentioned, like the fact that it can recall Broadwing can be super, super strong. Like, you can just recall, like, you play a 3 mana card, it's a fearsome blocker, as you mentioned, can block MF. Okay, because this card can block MF at the same turn. Like, the opponent plays MF, you recall their Broadwing, they cannot attack. You recall their Fleet Feather Tracker, they cannot attack.
Okay. But it's one deck.
Yeah, it's one deck. You recall the action. Okay, if you're versus Action Seaver. You can recall Elise. You can recall a lot of the Saboteur, potentially, to like a Pirate Aggro. And let them play it again for 1 mana, yeah, but it's 1 mana they're not spending on another drop. Or maybe like they're going off the curve and they don't have mana for Fervor later. Like, I think this can see play. I don't think it's gonna be super popular, but it's not a bad card. It's a playable card.
Okay, Tibu, anything to add?
I completely agree. I agree again with Zero. I think it's a 3-cost card that it doesn't have a bad stat line. It has an average stat line for the cost. It can block fearsome and can also recall fearsome units. especially from the early game. You can recall an Elise with this.
Mm-hmm.
And for example, you can recall an Ironborn unit like Saboteur, for example, or Spider. You can recall a lot of that. And also, as I've said earlier, with the recall archetype, you can recall your cannon. You can recall the droplet or whatever. So it's more synergistic. That's why it's in Ionia, because it's synergistic with these archetypes that Ionia has. And for the Ionian players, I think they can see the value in this card.
Mm-hmm. Definitely can agree. So this was the last card from the Jhin package. For the full package, we all gave it a 7. Vic gave it a 5. I think we all had the same reasoning, that we just really like the Virtuoso skin from Jhin. It's not a skin, it's a origin, the new Virtuoso effect.
Yep.
That you can put any follower into the deck. I think that's what put us all to the number 7. And Vic also believes that this is a powerful Virtuoso effect.
Jhin is the one, you only probably are gonna have one reason to play Jhin, which is the Virtuoso. I'm not seeing the full three copies of Jhin. Maybe yes, because I've seen some of the
Oh, we think we lost Zero. Oh. Okay, it's back.
No. I'm back. Sorry. Go on. Let's go on.
No,
okay.
You were saying something.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I was saying that full Jhin package, I actually think that this package is gonna help more archetypes than the Jhin's one. I'm not seeing a full 3 copies of Jhin archetype for real at the moment, even though I've seen some of the early access streams, and it seems like any Jhin can be very strong potentially, but I'm still not completely buying it. Okay, but yeah, all in all, 7, pretty solid, I think, and we're gonna see it also later on. This expansion has a very high power level compared to some of the expansion we've had. Yeah. So I'm very happy with Jhin package overall.
Interesting. I wouldn't say the power level is if you compare the last expansions, we have let's look at all the cards first before we talk about power levels and stuff, because you don't want to spoil anything. But we can talk about that later as well. Okay, let's move on to the next package here. We have next on our list Illaoi, and let's look at, okay. It seems like I'm the one who's special here this time. Illaoi is a 4-mana 1/6 with Overwhelm and Bilgewater. And her attack, she spawns 1, which basically puts a 1/1 on the board. And if you already have a spawn, then the instead get +1/+1 or +X/X for each spawn. And then after the spawn is summoned, Illaoi gains power equal to the strongest Tentacle's power this round. So already starts at a 2/6. If you have a 5/5 Tentacle on the board, it gets up to a 6/6. Level up, I've seen Tentacles or me deal 15 damage. And then on level 2, she increases your spawn, so you get an even bigger spawn, even bigger Tentacle thingy. And then we also heal on the attack. And also rebuy your health. So on level 1, she only gets attack or power. And on level 2, she also gets the health from the Tentacle. And the signature spell, we will talk about that one a little bit later. I wish I'd started this discussion because I don't see Illaoi at all. She's just a gigantic stat stick. Basically, you make one big unit, and with all of these stuns running around, you just stun the big unit, you Scorched Earth it, Illaoi gets shut down by the stupid 3-drop we just looked at. You can just recall Illaoi with one power. It's just I don't see it at all. Historically, big stat units, Darius, Garen, etc., didn't do anything, and I feel like Illaoi will just be a glorified second Garen, second Darius, I should say. We just have a big dude, and then they play one card, and you're getting your life decisions. But yeah, maybe you can convince me otherwise. Let's start with Tibu this time.
Okay, well, you see, you just gave me the reason about the recall card, right? So, yeah, the maker. Okay, so talking about Illaoi, I think the Illaoi package, it's of course very Illaoi centered, but also let's remember that we have a very strong champion called Viego. So I see her and see her package that way. You know that you with the mist, you grow the mist every turn and you grow Viego immensely. I know Illaoi doesn't grow in the deck like Viego, but the spawn mechanic I see for her package, for her it's very well tailored, so she will work very very well with this, because sometimes we see champions that doesn't work that well maybe with packages sometimes, or the cards are a little bit off, but I think they nail it with the Illaoi archetype, with the spawn archetype. I must admit that the first time it came out, I thought it was trash, but then I analyzed the deck, I analyzed the possible decks, and I see a little decks that, the building ideas, and I see the strength of this. So you must think that it's one archetype centered, yes, but it can be very strong, like, for example, Viego. And if you think on certain combos like that units that can go very big, and later we go to other cards of this archetype, you will see why Illaoi is very strong.
But if you compare it to like Viego, my problem is with Viego, you grow your stuff everywhere. Like if you kill one Viego, the next one will be just like 5 stats bigger, and each mist gets bigger and bigger and bigger. With Illaoi, if you make one big tentacle to kill it, you have to start at 0 again. That's why I don't like her.
Well, that's fair enough.
That's fair.
Zero, what do you think?
My point is that she has a lot to generate tentacles than Viego. Viego basically has just the Camelvoran soldiers and himself. Illaoi has a lot of cards that can buff, generate, and reiterate, give keywords to the tentacles. So I think in that case, she's much more consistent. The one thing that I'll say though is that exactly the problem with Illaoi, and that's why I at first didn't think her package was too strong, is because she can be easily recalled. Also, like for example, by Quicken, as you mentioned, by the Maker. She has a lot of counters, but even then, she's not like a Darius, which you pay 6 mana to have on board and doesn't do anything. She's a 4 mana card, so she's much more playable than, for example, Darius, as you mentioned. Like turn 4 is not one of the key turns. Like I think the key turns in Runeterra are like 3 and 5 potentially. So turn 4, if you play Illaoi, like you can afford some tempo loss potentially.
Okay. By the way, I didn't think I read out the ratings. I gave it a 3. And Vic gave her a 6, and Tiburon and Zero a 7. Well, let's take a look at the rest of the package then, because I definitely there are a lot of cards that make spawns and stuff. You will see a trend here that I generally rate all of these cards pretty low, because they're just like stat sticks in my opinion. With one exception, but let's go through them anyways. So the first one is Tentacle Smash. And, other way around here. Like, Vic and me think it's very good. Tibu and Zero, I think it's like a 6. So it's like playable, but not insane. What does Tentacle Smash do? It's a 4 mana slow Bilgewater spell where you spawn 3, basically you make a 3/3, or you add +3/+3 to your spawn. Then your strongest tentacle and an enemy strike each other. And a very similar card has existed before in Hearthstone. Deal 3 damage to a unit and summon a 3/3. This was a little bit different because they strike each other, so your tentacle will take damage from the strike. But I still think it's like removal in Bilgewater and definitely viable. Vic, you wanted to say something as well? What do you think?
Yeah, well, I was like really surprised that we all viewed this pretty highly. Like, we can see that the average for this card between the 4 of us is 7, which I think that means that we can all agree that this is going to be a pretty solid card for Bilgewater. I think like the number one thing that I thought about was that this kind of gives Bilgewater some bench play. You know what I mean? Like Bilgewater doesn't have a lot of removal. And this is a 4 mana deal 3. We know that they have the what is the 6-mana plunder spell?
Strong Arm.
No, the Monster Harpoon.
Yeah.
Right. So like Monster Harpoon is like one of like the only other removal in build. Am I wrong?
Well, a Strong Arm, but it's like a slow spell.
Strong.
Yeah, but that card's not it's not real.
Card has never been played.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, the historical removal, if historically, the removal from Buildwater always been.
To make it rain, for example.
Yeah, exactly. Like make it rain, which pings all the board. Potentially TF, red card, of course, very powerful removal, especially with the Dreadway Deccan combo. If you remember it, like you always played the 2/2 spawn barrel and then TF on turn 4 to clear everything on the opponent's side. And of course, also when Rex was a thing, Rex was the big finisher removal. You destroy the opponent's board and you just win. Potentially.
I think that this card shouldn't even be played like outside of Illaoi decks, and that's why I was like, okay, this card's crazy. Like, who cares if like you don't have any other tentacle generators, right?
Mm-hmm.
You play this card once, and then you have a 3/3 that could stay on the board or just kill something that has 3 HP. I don't know, it's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Well, the only thing I didn't put it a 7 or it's because maybe it's either the cost or the speed. But at 4 mana, it's like I don't know if you're playing more tempo-oriented decks. It's like what I'm going to do with this 4-cost slow speed spell. So I think it must be played like in more mid-late game because of the mana tax it has. So that's why I didn't rate it that high. But I agree in its potential. I agree it's strong, yes, but it's only because of the cost and speed that I didn't rate it a little higher.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see. I think this is the most promising card, in my opinion, from the Illaoi package, but we will have to find out. Next card here is Eye of Nagakabouros. I have no idea how to pronounce this. This one, this one is a. Here is it. Oh, wait, Eye of Nagakabouros is not this one.
Nagakabouros. I don't know. Yeah, that's.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, which one is the eye?
It's the 5-mana burst spell.
Yeah.
It's the burst spell. Okay, so 5-mana burst, Bilgewater, spawn 2, so make a 2/2, and draw 2. Again, everybody's very similar on this one, with a 6 from Rick, 6 from Tibu, 7 from Zero, not the other way around. And I am the pessimist again with a 4. So I will start with my reasoning. It's a 5-mana 2/2 that like draws you 2. You don't want to pay 5 mana for a draw 2. There's a 4-mana draw 2 right now in Bilgewater that sees no play at all. And 5-mana draw 2, even if you get a 2/2 on top of it, doesn't really add up to me that much. Zero, you rated the card the highest with 7. What do you think? Why is it worth it?
Okay. I actually think it's pretty strong because it's, as you mentioned, it's a 5-mana 2/2 draw 2 cards, but it's a 5-mana 2/2 draw 2 cards at bar speed. So if you already have a Tentacle, even if it's a 1/1, you're just at 5 mana, drawing 2 cards and granting him Fearsome Block.
Uh-huh.
Okay, or in any case, you're generating at bar speed a blocker, which is insane. Like there's so little, there's so little amount of bar speed generated unit in this game because those kind of cards are usually very, very strong and very hard to balance. So I think this card might see play. I don't know how much, but I think in Illaoi decks, even just as end refill, might be very, very good.
I think you've actually convinced me already. Like just the burst speed summon, like a burst jump blocker, for example, a burst +2/+2.
Yes,
That actually seems good.
It's crazier. That's why I just updated my rating from like whatever I had it to an 8 because I was like, it's a burst.
Cheater!
Summon!
Cheater!
Burst speed summons are crazy, bro. It's cracked! It's a crack. You draw and summon for 5 mana, cracked.
I agree. I agree. It's strong, but also I would like to my initial thoughts. That's the only reason I rate it like an average, not a cracked or OP card, is because of the mana tax. That's the only thing. But I think also that in the archetype, of course, it's a very strong because for actually I could prefer. I know that the mechanic is different, but I could prefer this 5 burst than the 4 mana slow.
Yep.
So of course different value and different speed, but mostly because of the mana cost. If this card was 4 mana, I will rate it an 8 or a 9, of course. But because of its 5, it's 6. It is not because it's weak in its mechanic, because I think it's a little bit expensive, and I think they nail it. They need to balance this card some way, and they do it with the cost.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I agree.
Okay, yeah, best speed. I would change it to 6. Maybe Vic, you can change it in the background for me. I will also give it a 6 now, but I won't mess it up. Nice, perfect. And then we have the leader himself, Nagakabouros. Whoa, what you think this card will see play? I'm very surprised by that.
Whoa.
An 8 mana in Bilgewater, 8 mana, 5/8 fearsome, and no other text. So on round start, if it survives a round, you spawn 2. Then if your strongest tentacle has 12 plus power, create a tantrum in hand. The tantrum says it starts a free attack, 0 mana focus speed spell, starts a free attack with 4 tentacles. Tentacles are basically 1/1s, and they grow to the size of your spawns. So basically, you have this guy out, you have to wait until round start, you get another 2/2 on your spawn, then if you have 12 power, you get to start a free attack, and you get 4 other tentacles the size of your spawn. For me, I just read 8 mana, 5/8 fearsome. It has to survive until next round start, and I'm over it. Like 8 mana for a 5/8 fearsome that does nothing, and the turn it comes down. Just compare it to Hydrovine, 7 mana, 7/5, immediately gets another dude to survive this turn and generates value. I don't see this card at all. That's why I gave it a 2. Vic gives it a 4. Tibu a 6, 0, and 8. So 0, like the widest split we had so far. 0, why do you think this card will see any play at all, or even much play?
No. Okay, my 8 is justified in the sense that it's an epic card. Okay, so we already have a pretty low. We already have a pretty low ceiling with epics. Not gonna lie, epic cards are not good. This card is a pretty fine finisher, and then it's a god. So if I don't give an 8 to a god, I don't know who I have to give 8 to.
So you did a meme rating of what? You don't
Just
see this
for
card
respect.
actually playable.
Just for respect. I pay respect to Nagakabouros. I give them an 8, and I think in theory is a super strong finish. Like, let's be real. Like, if you get the tantrum, you're starting a free attack with 4, 12, 12. That's the only thing. That's the only thing that I'll say.
Yo, I love Path of Champions.
I already love Path of Champions.
But yeah, in reality, I don't think it's gonna see a lot of play. Maybe one off.
Yeah.
I don't even think, probably. But I love the concept. Let's just say that.
Yeah, like concept flavor-wise, it's like a great. Flavor-wise, I would also give it an 8, but like you're doing competitive ratings, not like flavor ratings.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. The best part about this card is that the tentacles, even though they have the same name and are the same unit, they all have different. There's 4 different card arts, so that when it splays out on the board, it summons left and right. No, that's like the best part of the card.
Yeah, that's great.
You know what I mean? Yep. Just flavor-wise, like alone, you know that a lot of people are going to be forcing the... Okay, so actually, if we think about it like that, it might be like a Lurk or like a Monoshirima moment, where even if Tentacles and the Illaoi package aren't very good, we could see this archetype seeing a lot of play despite not being a very good deck. And so by that definition, is it meta warping? If more people are playing it, then I guess so, right? Like if this card is so flavorful and if this package is so beloved that people are willing to lose on it, like they were with Monastery, maybe in like 6 to 9 months, we see Nagakabouros like dropping down to 7 mana, and I think at that point it's like really scary, right? Because turn 8 is like such a huge mana point, right? And then the second condition of having a 12 power tentacle is like really, it's a really sorry for the pun. It's a really tall order, but I think if this card is just so interesting that I'm talking about it this much, like maybe it is worthy of this 8 that Zero's given it, just because people will be playing it so much. I think that's actually like a super interesting angle to take it unironically.
Yeah.
Okay, so I still think it's a meme card, but maybe people will try it out. Maybe people like to have fun. Anyways, I think we said what has to be said about the epic sea monster spirit.
No, dude. If the tentacles have elusive, so it's fine. They're OP.
They have ephemeral, not elusive.
Oh man, did you not watch the reveal trailer?
What? No.
You can give the tentacle keywords. So.
Okay.
Bro, they had elusive in the trailer.
I love power champions.
They even had overwhelm and stuff.
Broken.
You can actually give them overwhelm. We'll see that soon enough.
Yeah. Let's just move on to the next card here. Otherwise, we will sit here forever. Next card is Watchful Idol. And this one we can all agree is a good, decent card. We'll see play in... we actually gave it all the same rating, so we don't have to discuss it too long. Where is it? Over here. It's a 1-mana Bilgewater, 0/5 immobile, and round start deal 2 to me and spawn 1. So over the course of 3 turns, you get a 3/3 for 1 mana, or if you are 1/1 or 2/2 dice, you get another one. And you can technically also play this in Sorakatam Kench for infinite spawns and just heal your spawn thing over and over. We all gave it a 6 instead of me. I gave it a 5, but I would be fine with the rating of 6. Since we all agree, Zero, can you quickly summarize why this card will be good or okay?
It's a monkey idol for spawn, and I think spawn potentially are better than monkeys, so that's it.
Okay. I can definitely see that. It's like just 2 mana less as well. So yeah, it's not ephemeral, just gives you a good dude. It will also be good when it's like generated from stuff. And also like it doesn't like take up too much board space. If it would just summon like 1/1/1/1/1/1, it would be kind of awkward sometimes, but just grows up. Really, I think it's good. I think it's fine. Okay, you all agreed. This one's a fine card. Let's move on to more interesting ones. This one I think we all agree is like a broken card. Oh no, Zero doesn't like it. You always have like one outsider here. It's crazy.
Garbage.
Let's read the card. Wait. Let's read the card first before we discuss it, please. Buhru Leader is the card we talk about. 3 mana, Bilgewater, 3/2, play. A 1-cost ally starts a free attack. This is not a skill, so you can't put it in your Jhin deck. And it doesn't go on the stack, you just immediately fling out your 1-cost ally like it would be a Snatcher Swarm. And we all give it I give it an 9, Vic gives it a 10, Tibo gives it an 8. This is actually the card that rated the highest in the whole set. And yeah, Zero gave it a 3. So Zero, now you get the chance to justify yourself.
Okay, actually, I thought about this card like if you let's say you play Watchful Idol on turn 1, so on turn 3 you're gonna have a 2/2. You play the Buhru Leader, you're just gonna make your tentacle attack on turn 3, a 2/2 tentacle, just attacking to do nothing, and then the tentacle will die, and you have to start again. Okay, I agree that this card can actually be a very good top deck, but I don't see it fitting the curve. That's why I give it a 3.
I actually don't think it will be very good. Like, it will be fine in Tentacles, but I think it will be very good in Scouts in particular. We get the 1-1 with Scout.
That's true. Oh no, I didn't think about it.
Oh, it's nasty in Scouts, dog. That's why it's a 10.
Yes, exactly. It will just be breaking.
Okay. I'm just gonna. I'm
So-
gonna say,
Are you going to change it? What do you want to change it to?
It's the most. Yeah. Look at that.
Because you have like the Isle Navigator, the 4-mana 2/4 summons a 1-cost follower with Scout, then you fling out this 1-cost follower with Scout, and then you rally with it, and then you will definitely play this as a 1-of or 2-of in my Scouts list in the future.
Yeah, I think it's the best card of this Auli set. Actually.
Exactly.
okay, I didn't think about it actually. I didn't think about
Yeah,
it.
because it has a lot of flexibility and it can work in another deck. Not only right.
You can even put it in like Viego decks and just fling out your encroaching
Yeah,
lists.
you can do a lot of things.
No, yeah, so like what you do, right? You throw the Overwhelm Tentacle, and you double attack with the 1/1 Tentacle that's like a 12/12 with Overwhelm, and that's like a GG.
Okay.
Yep.
But yeah, now I think we can all agree this card will be very broken.
It's crap.
And probably one of the strongest cards in the set. Let's see if we can find a stronger one. I already have my card back in my mind, but we'll have to see. So, next one. Okay, this one's, I think, the most interesting one. The Sea's Voice. Okay, we all agree, it's good. But we can still look at it. Sea's Voice is a 3-mana 3/3 in Bilgewater. And on attack, it spawns one and gives you strongest tentacle overwhelm this round. If you attack with the spawn, it will buff it in combat, but if you just leave it back, it just will summon. Or if you don't have a spawn, it will just summon it on the back row. And this one's very powerful because it actually gives your units overwhelm. I and Tibu gave it an 8, Vic and Zero a 7. Again, since we all agree, let's say Tibu, why do you think this card is good?
Oh well, you also agree with me that this card it has a good stat line 3/3, but you cannot only play it in early. You can save it for late game, so you can finish with your tentacles with overwhelm. So I think it has this flexibility that you don't only play it in curve. You can only play it. You play it in different stages of the game, depending on your board state, depending on the state of the game. So it's pretty much about it. Early game, it also you can, if we recall every Illaoi package card until now, by turn 3 you can have decent tentacles, decent roam tentacles. So with overwhelm, you can pass some severe damage actually at turn 3. And as I say, in late game, it's a good way to help you finish games with a very cheap cost. That's why I rated that.
Okay, since we all agree, and yeah, let's move on right to the next card. This one will be like a cornerstone. And this one will be, where are we actually? Buhru Leader, Buhru Lookout, whatever I call Buhru, Watchful Idol, Buhru Leader. I think Buhru Lookout is the next one, right? And I think here we just see a difference in if you think Illaoi is good or not. 5-mana 4/3 in Bilgewater, when I'm summoned spawn 3. So like a 5-mana for a 4/3 and a 3/3. And I and Vic both gave it a 3. And Zero and Tibu, Zero gave it a 7, Tibu an 8. And yeah, sure, it gives you 5-mana give you 2 units, but I think it's just too vanilla to be good. Dice to Shock Plus, for example, but I don't see it.
Well.
Since Tibu explained the last one, Zero, why do you think this is good?
Ooh, I think this is just a 5-mana 7/6, So yeah, you mentioned of course the Shock Blast, and that's fair. But I think that when you play it on turn 5, there is almost no chances that there are no tentacles in play. So the tentacle is always gonna be safe from potential removal, and you're putting another body. And then potentially you're open attacking the next round with Illaoi with a very big tentacle with more spawns. I think it's a solid card. Also, like 1 card, 2 bodies is always good. Like we have seen it so many times. 1 card, 2 body, always good.
Mm-hmm. I think you're slowly talking me into it. Like, it's actually a lot of stats. Like, I was just like, oh, vanilla doesn't really do that much. But maybe like two. It's very interesting at least. I think I would give it like a 5 now. Looking more into it. Vic, what do you think? Would you also change your rating, or do you still think it's garbage?
Do you want me to change yours?
Yeah, sure. Do it a 5 at least. Double summon is really what convinced me.
Yeah, when Zero said it was like a 5 mana 7/6, I was like, whoa, that's actually crazy, right? Because like we see the 2 mana Bilgewater card that summons a 1/1 just being extremely strong. And when you put it that way, I think any card that summons 2 bodies in 1 action is going to be at least playable. So I think in the context of the rest of the package, I have to agree that it's just like, this is a card that you have to think about. At first I was like, it's a 5 mana 4/3. That's trash. Like, so, but it's not. So I think, thank you, Zero.
So you talked us into it. And I think that's it's a more C's voice answer prayers. I think we still have. Did we talk to C's voice yet? I don't think so, right? Oh yeah, this is this one again, the overwhelm guy. Then we have the answered prayers. Okay, we have our first pointer, 6 for everybody. Let's do the card first. 2 mana slow. You will either spawn 2 or spend 5 mana to spawn 4 instead. We all gave it a 6, Zero gave it a 7.5. I mostly gave it a 6 because it's a unit that summons with spell mana, and it's usually very powerful for multiple archetypes, just like spells in general. And yeah. You can also have the option, if you like both 2 mana 2/2, 5 mana 4/4 is still a little bit below average, but it's just like, because you use spell mana, because you can choose if you want a small guy or big guy, that's pretty valuable. Is there anything to add?
Yeah, I just think, honestly, that any card that gives you an option, like, automatically for me is 1 mark. I add 1 mark to that card, like in my evaluation, because I like being flexible. I like having the option to decide. And if like this card is super flexible, because if you need, like, you can actually see, like, do I need a finisher? Do I need the spawn 4 to potentially have like the lethal with Illaoi? Like that's the real question. Or do I need, as you mentioned, like a 2/2 blocker, or just to get my tentacle to 3/3 to block some fearsome? Like, I really like having the option to choose here. I think that's the strength of the card, and that's why I give the card a 7.5.
Okay, definitely can see that. And that's the last card from the Illaoi package. So if you look here at the full package, I'm the one that's a little bit pessimistic with a 5. Vic gave it a 6, Tiburon and Zero gave it a 7. I think we basically elaborated on why we like don't like Illaoi. And you can see there's a lot of support for her. I don't know how good she will still be. We will have to find out. I think she has a lot of counters. A little bit too vanilla for my taste. But yeah, I think we basically said what has to be said. Vic, what do you want to say?
I think that Illaoi is going to be very present. I think we're going to see a lot of her, and we're going to see a lot of tentacles for the next few months. I think that this deck is going to be very popular, to say the least. Nothing of strength or competitive viability, but popularity at most.
Okay.
Yeah. You say a valid point. I mean, yeah, for maybe competitive reasons, we don't know yet. But because remember, we had our dip sometimes, so we don't know yet what happens in the future. But we can see it in ladder, yes, a lot, maybe, yes. In competitive, maybe not. So, but let's not think only competitive. Let's think about also what other people, or most of the people we play. So I see a little more play maybe in ladder.
Okay, so 2 champions down, and we move to our third one, and that one is Annie. Annie.
This is the most OP package we're gonna see today.
Okay. Let me open up Annie. Well, let's go. Over here. To scroll up, the last champion revealed. And over here. And now on this one. Annie. Okay. Wow, everybody thinks she's very strong. Let's read her. First, 1 mana 0/2 in Noxus. And on attack, she basically has this Talia skill, where she puts the skill on the stack, and if you have a blocker, you deal 2 to it. If she doesn't have a blocker, she deals 2 to the Nexus. It kind of functions like a 1 mana 0/2 with a 1 mana 2 with quick attack, a little bit different, and levels up. I've seen her play 6+ fast spells, slow spells, or skills. On her level up, she then gives you a Tibbers card. If you look at this in a moment, is a 1/3, and then deals 3 instead of 2 damage. And then we have Tibbers, 6 mana, 5/5 fearsome, and on play, it's a skill effect, you stun an enemy, and then you deal 2 to all stunned, very important, and or damaged enemies. So basically a flock as an AoE effect. And I overread the damage when I did the ratings. But yeah, I actually had a little bit of an argument. I will just start here because like I gave it a 6, Vic and Tibu gave it a 9, 0, and 8, as we had before, the most overpowered card yet. I don't believe in her that much because she has very like a slide of like a few answers to her. Like for example, a Fleetfeather Tracker just eats her for breakfast, or a Owlcat blocks her for free because the spaceship will take the skill. And I can see some decks playing this, like Spider Aggro needs a second champion, will probably play Annie over like a random one drop. So she will definitely see play, but like her own archetype, I don't really like. She will easily play. I don't really think she will be that mind-blowing as people make her right now. But yeah, what do you think? And let's start with Tibu.
Well, I think it's a strong card for the Ghost. Of course, I don't think it's the main. It will be the main champion or that you build a deck around her. But it's a great support champion, I think. For 1 cost, okay. At that cost, which type of units can block Annie without dying? Okay, so you play Annie in 1, you attack, and you actually pass the damage almost, because if like I said, which follower at cost 1 can block Annie without dying. So I like that very much. Her level up condition, I think it's really quick. It's not taxing. It's cheap. You can make it very, very quickly also. So her level 2, it's strong, I think, because now it deals 3 damage and also stun it. So that's a plus. And of course, you can use it later on, maybe with some other combo cards that Noxus has, like Might, for example, that grants Overwhelm, or you name it. So you can deal a lot of damage with this cheap unit, mostly, actually.
Okay, Zero, do you want to add something? Or
I honestly think this is probably, and this may be controversial, but I think this... I don't have that much faith in Byrd. I think this is the strongest champion of the expansion.
Okay, yeah, I'm different. I think Byrd is the strongest champion, but we will have to see. When we look at Byrd, we can discuss that more. But Annie, definitely, I agree, she can see play. I don't think she will ultimately have like a game-winning impact. Like, she will do a little bit more than a Precious Pet, but not like a lot more, in my opinion. We will see. Okay, and let's move on to some of the support cards. Let's see, start looking at the support cards first. The Prefect is the first one. We have like a chain here as well. And the Prefect, a 3 mana 1/3 Overwhelm in Noxus. When you play a fast spell, slow spell, or skill, grant me +1/+0. This is not once per turn, so for every spells or skill you play, you get like this +1/+0. So this is a 1/3. Once you get 2 skills, she grows up to a 3/3 or a 4/3. And I gave it a 4, Vika 0 6, Vika 7, Tibu an 8. Again, I will start with the lowest, and I don't see this ever being like much better than a Iron Ballista, just a 3 mana 4/3 overwhelm that you can play on 3. And I feel like the later this goes, later you play this card, or the longer it takes, the less valuable will be this overwhelm attack. I think on turn 3 you want to hit for 4 damage in most decks, and not just on turn 6 or 7 for, I guess, an 8 damage, because then most decks are just more likely to have an answer for a 3 health unit. And I don't really think this scaling type of stuff is what Noxus really needs. Tibu, you are the highest grade with 8. Why do you think this card is good?
Well, I think mostly because, I agree in the part that playing a Ballista would be better to play this. But if you think in the synergy it can have with Annie and or some of the cards that come with the Annie package, so it has this added value because you can grow its power greater than just forward, and very quickly, actually, very quickly. So in 2 turns you can only have a 3/3 or a 4/3. You can probably have a 6/3 in 2 turns. So I see that's why I like this, because you can buff it very very easily actually, and that's pretty much about it. And it's a cheap card, and at the cost you can trade some units or you can block some units and you cannot die. I know it's not like the Ballista that you just manage to hit for forward. Like I said, I think a difference from the Ballista, in the turn you play it, you can buff it 2 or 3 more, and in the next turn, defensive turn, you can buff it 2 more. So it's between 3 and 6 points of power that you can have from one turn to another, and you can trade a lot of cards and also a lot of overrun damage.
Okay, I can see that, especially if you have like units on the board already. If you have like an Annie on the board and 2 Legion Saboteurs, just immediately is an Iron Ballista and you attack on turn 3. That would be pretty strong. Yeah, but like, I will stand by it. I don't think Noxus needs like these slow scaling cards. Big?
I think it's slow.
Okay.
You know? I don't know. Like, overall decks really love 3 and 4 mana overwhelm cards that curve into Battle Fury really well. And I think it's terrifying on the Prefect, sorry.
Yeah,
okay.
Imagine that. Imagine that card just mentioned with the Prefect. You have a card that's huge that hits for huge damage.
Okay, yeah, we have to see it out. Maybe like it depends on how fast it actually grows up. Maybe I'm underestimating it. We will have to see. We are on average on a 6.3, so I think that's fair. Okay, next one I saw a lot of already. No, that's not the one. Slinger is the 1/1 first. It's actually the spider. 2 mana, 1/1 spider in Noxus with Fearsome, and play stun enemy, or if it's already stunned, deal 2 to it instead. So basically an Arachnid Sentry, instead of a 3 mana 3/2, it's a 2 mana 1/1, and it stuns. Or if it's already stunned, it deals damage, or the skill, so activates your any or levels up. And I and Zero gave it an 8, Tibu a 7, and Vic a 6. So let's start with Vic this time. Why would you say this is like, we all say, can agree that the Arachnid Sentry is a good card. Why would you say this is much worse? Or like worse, at least.
I mean, I would also rate Arachnoid Sentry at like a 6. Or they're cards. Like they're good cards. They hit certain decks in certain spots very, very well, and they're very good depending on the meta. You know?
The Sentry is a great card.
Yeah, Sentry is like a 10.
All of you guys love Flock. Like, I get it. Like, it's fine.
No. It's not because Flock. It's because you add 1 blocker or 1 attacker, and you one blocker or 1 attacker when you play because of turn. It's not only the Flock combo.
Yeah,
you get board advantage by playing the Sentry, actually.
Yeah, it's like the highest tempo card.
I think they're good cards. I don't know. They're like, I'm like, okay, I play a lot of spiders. Like, I play a lot of aggro. Like, I play a lot of Noctis decks. Like, I look at this card, I'm like, it's a 2-mana. That's awesome. It has Fearsome. Cool. I'll get in for 1 every now and then with it. But I don't know. It's funny. I don't know. Like, I see these 8s and I'm like, all right. Like, I guess like there's stronger cards out there, but I think it's gonna be a good card and a lot of people will be using it. I just don't think it's like, I don't know. It just feels like this is a card that we should expect from Legends of Runeterra? Like, I don't know. Like, this is a card. Like, this is a card. Like, the craziest part about it is the deal 2. Like, sure, maybe. Like, that's like the spiciest part.
That's like the lowest value part. Like, you always, I don't think you actually use it.
Everything else is so vanilla. Everything else is so like normal. Like, it's a 2-mana 1/1 Fearsome, and then it's done something. Like, that's cool.
Insane.
Like, it's fine. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Like, I'm just like, it's cool. Like, I'm like, yeah, that's awesome. That's a card.
Okay.
It's not bad, and like, I'll play it.
Okay, okay, we get you. We respect.
Yeah, but like I think the Tibu, you said it already, like you play a unit out and you disable another unit. I think, for example, SL Caitlyn will play this over like the vacant slot, maybe like Pharaohs or something. Does this another flock activator? Yeah. Potentially, like, I don't know. People switched it around already. You can like just shut down one attacker, then you block one 1/1. Both are like damaged or stunned. Then you can flock and do whatever you want. It's a very good card.
Yeah. Actually, I think that leave the stat line aside because the stat line is trash. But the thing is that the value it gives you, it's cheap. So you at the cost you play it with no huge mana tax, so it's playable. And if you have already a student, and you see the Annie package already, and there are some cards that stun or something like that. So it also makes damage to the unit. You can say stun or damage, and so you can remove damage. You can set for flocks. It has a great flexibility. Yes, it's a chump blocker. It won't trade anything, but I think it gets the job done. That's why I like it.
Okay, seems good. Slinger is done. The next one is one card I think I underrated. I don't even know what I gave it. Maybe pretty split again. Manasoul Student. Where is it? It's a 3-mana Noxus. Each round, the first time. Whoa, Vic changed it. Cheating.
Yeah.
But, okay, Vic can just.
What? No, I didn't do that.
What? Please don't change the ratings of other people. Thanks.
Oh, how was it?
Okay, anyways. Manasoul Student, 3-mana, 3/2. Each round, the first time you play a fast spell, slow spell, or skill, I play Magic Embers, which basically is another skill that deals 1 to the enemy nexus. So basically a 3-mana 3/2 that just sits there and pings your opponent for 1 each turn. We actually had a MTG card that was very similar to this, and it was absolutely crazy. I think I can pull this up. This one, Thermo Alchemist, which you can just, whenever you play a spell, you deal 1 damage, basically, and it was absolutely broken. And yeah, I only gave it a 6, because it's just 1 time each round. If it would be like each spell or skill, it would be absolutely nuts. And because it's like a 2 health guy, so it can be pinged down, it can be removed by challenger units like birds and stuff. So I gave it a 6, Vic, you gave it a 4, 0 a 7, and Tibu an 8. So once again, Vic, you are not looking at this card very highly. Why is that?
It dies to Mystic God. So it's bad. I think, but unironically, if this was like a 3-mana 2/3, I'd be a lot more afraid of it. It's only the first time you play it, and it's a 1-mana ping. I guess at the end of the day, it's like a really scary. I'm sorry.
Okay. Anyways, Zero, you said you liked it. Why do you think it's a good card?
Zero.
Yeah, is Zero here? I'm muted right now.
Oh, sorry. I think it's a great addition to the any package, actually. Like, as you mentioned, it's a 3/2, so it's a potentially fearsome blocker, can trade down, for example, drop borders. If you're versus, for example, an Exilian, can actually block, but when you need it, it's just gonna ping the opponent, just gonna get your level up condition on any going. And also, overall, if you're playing Jhin in the deck, getting your level up condition also on the Jhin, I think it's a great card overall. Honestly, I don't see any downsides in playing it in this kind of archetype.
Well, I think that's fair. And yeah, I generally thought this archetype wasn't very good, but if the archetype is good, this card will be also very good, and it looks like the archetype will be fine from what I've seen on stream so far. So yeah, is there another one? Ani, Prefect, yes, of course, there's two more. The next one is very interesting. Disintegrate, the any champion spell as well. 2 mana. Wait, I can't open it. Disintegrate over here. Similar spread again. 2 mana fast, Noxus, pick a unit, next time it takes damage this round, kill it. Me and Vic gave it a 6, Tibu and Zero gave it a 9. I've seen a lot of people say Pantheon is dead. This card will mean you can never play Pantheon ladder again, ever. I think that's definitely overrated, or over-accelerated. I think it's a fine card, a removal spell, but historically these effects haven't been very good because they're very upfront on what you're doing. It's against Scorched Earth, you can just damage the unit whenever, and then follow it up with Scorched Earth, but here you're showing the opponent, hey, I'm going to kill a unit if you don't interact with it. Sometimes it's unavoidable, if you have an any trigger on this deck already, even then you could kill the any potentially in response. I can see its potential, it could be a 2 mana Scorched Earth. If you can't heal out of it, I don't think it will be breaking the meta. Zero, the last one, let's say Tibu. Why do you think this card will break the meta? Why do you give it a 9?
I think it's better. It's way better than a Scorched Earth because let's analyze the text. It says, pick a unit. The next time it takes damage this round, kill it. That means the damage, the unit, you make the unit damage. Okay, it doesn't matter if it heals. If it gets hit again, it will die. That's what this card makes. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you heal the unit at full or whatever. The unit will die. So that's why it's better than a Scorched Earth, because with the Scorched Earth, if the unit heals, you lose Scorched Earth. So that's mainly the problem. And of course, it's cheaper. It's also the same speed fast. So I think that's why I like it, because, for example, I play a lot of Ezra Caitlyn, so I like this remove control decks. I know how important it is to have this type of tool. For example, that's why we stopped using the guillotine, because it was very expensive, and at some points you heal the unit and you lose it. So this is not that way. You can start the round by pinging the unit, and then if it attacks you, you just ping it again, and it dies. Yeah, you need to use a lot of resources, but sometimes units like Pantheon that has a lot of keywords and are just a threat, a huge threat, unless they get spell shield. For Victors, for example, that's why this is a very good removal, very, very, very cheap, and you can get out your way your Victor. Just imagine, comes Victor, if it doesn't have a spell shield, well, you ping him. If it doesn't take out spell shield, it doesn't matter, you will kill him anyway with it.
Also, I would say, against, for example, Viego, if you play the Disintegrate, either the Viego player has to immediately Hourglass just to avoid the Disintegrate it, or if he waits for you to play another spell and kill the Viego, or even on attack, the Hourglass will maintain the Disintegrate mark over the next round. So the Viego is not going to be safe. This card is insane. I think it's one of the... it's insane.
How does it play out differently from Scorched Earth in this scenario? If you have Viego on the
it's not a commitment. It's not a commitment. The commitment comes next, so the opponent has to immediately decide if he wants to just spend his mana on a 2-mana spell instead of a 3-mana spell commitment. I think it's like it told the difference in the world.
And you think it's even worth running in as a Caitlyn despite Tri-Beam and not buffing it up anymore?
I mean, you're not probably gonna cut all the Scorched Earth copies, but I think you're gonna slot discard in.
Okay. Yeah, we have to see how it plays out differently now. I was like, for example, with like healing and stuff, like if you have an Opify in hand, it doesn't play out differently.
You know what? You just gave me something. For example, you can save a lot of mana instead of using the thermal beam for erasing a huge unit. You combo two spells and you erase the big unit instead of using a thermal.
Yep. And then you use the thermal on another unit potentially.
Yeah.
And that's a problem, because the problem with Ezreal Caitlyn has always been that the deck has the spells, has the potential removals, but doesn't have enough mana. So if you can save mana and not commit like your thermal beams, your tri-beams on the wrong units, and just use some cheaper spells to do the same job, you're gonna have resources anyways. So I think strictly better. I think it's a fine addition to the deck, and it's a very, very good card to have in the game.
I agree. No, maybe it's like I can definitely. I think you've talked me out into it a little bit as well. I would probably give it like a 7 or 8 now, but I still don't think it's really that insane. But we will find out. Yes, I will have some home spells definitely, but you also lose like on Scorched Earth. You can destroy Landmark with it. This one you can't. So maybe you learn in addition to it, but yeah, I don't know. Anyways, we have one last card to discuss here, and this one's the Ravenbloom Conservatory, 1-mana landmark, and it has countdown 10, create a Tybolg in hand, and it also advances 1 round for each fast, slow skill you've played this game. So happens immediately on play, so you don't have to like have it sealed, for example. And like if you play it on turn 5 and you have played 10 already, then it just immediately gives you the Tybolg. Doesn't have to just have to fulfill this at some point. Tybolg or Tybolg or whatever is a 6-mana 6/6 Noxus, and when I'm summoned, grant allies everywhere +1/+0, and for the rest of the game, all of your spells and skills deal 1 extra damage, so permanent Funsmith and a +1/+0. The I and 0 gave it a 7. Tibu a 6 and Vic a 5 with another average of 6.3. So we can all kind of agree that it will be played in like the skill deck and will have its place there. But yeah, I think it's fine. Like the effect is very powerful. I don't know if you really need this late game finisher in these kind of decks when they're very aggressive, like burn style. You would have a decimate sometimes, but definitely does its job. Let's see if Vic is back already. Vic, are you here?
Oh yeah, I've been here this whole time.
Okay, so do you want to add anything? You had the lowest grade.
I mean, it gives you a 6-mana minion that you have to play, and it's a spicy card, but I don't know. It's like you mentioned, it's like such a big finisher for a pretty low to the ground archetype. So seeing something so big is kind of confusing for me. Like it feels like it goes the other way. Countdown 10 maybe will be burning down really quickly because we are playing a lot of skill based cards. Maybe I'm underestimating how fast this will flip, but like regardless, you can only the earliest you're gonna play Tybolg is turn 6, right? So we're only talking about I don't know. It's fine. It feels very slow and clunky. But
I think by turn 7 you like always will have the landmark flipped, like always, no matter what. Even turn 6, and I think Tybolg is like god tier for this archetype. Tybolg is the finisher. Like when you play Tybolg, like the game is over because there is no way the opponent is ever coming back from you having every single spell that you play, every single skill that you play buffed I think it's too strong. Like honestly, I think it's too strong.
But you only gave it a 7. Why is that?
No. I gave 7 to the Ravenbloom. I gave 9 to T-Bulk.
Yeah, I don't know why we split that up.
Like, it wasn't meant to be split up. I kind of missed that this is not an individual card. Like, you can only get this from the Conservatory. You can't actually put T-Bulk into your deck.
No, I know. But I was trying to give my opinions on the two cards respectively. Like, it's gonna be like slower, especially because you cannot play. You're gonna play the Conservatory only on turn 1, only if you don't have any.
Mm-hmm.
Only if you don't have any. And or if you attack token on evens, which I don't think is already that good for your deck because you want to chain as much skills as possible.
Mm-hmm.
But I think once you get T-Bulk on the ground, you win.
Okay.
So,
yeah, makes sense. So on average it would be like an 8 or something. I can get behind it. Interesting card design to look like this finisher. We would just put this finisher like T-Bulk in every deck, or if you generate it from like a Tri-Beam, very broken. Interesting to put it behind a landmark. I kind of like this design a lot. But yeah, that concludes any. What is our overall rating? We already looked to see any package. We're very close on the any package.
Wait. I just realized something. For the Ravenbloom, if you put it down, he advances 1 round for every spell you have played in the game. So you put it down at round 5.
Yeah, it flips actually. Yeah, I saw it today in some previews that they just play the Conservatory and procced.
Mm-hmm.
It's
instant.
So actually, is much more powerful than I could have believed back when I gave the vote. So I stand by my opinion. This card is gonna be played.
Okay, cool. Anyways, for any full thing, we have me at 7, Rick at 7, Tibu at 8, Zero at 8. So overall, we all think this will be a viable archetype. Let's move on to the most interesting one, I would say. Unless someone wants to have final words on any.
I'm gonna just be slamming my decks like all for the rest of my life.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm just gonna play any. Like I'm. It's gonna be the first card I craft tomorrow, and I love the lore behind the new any cards actually because it puts her in such a cool space, like in the Noxus Military Academy for mages. I'm gonna talk about it later if we have time, or I don't know. I'm a lore nerd.
Okay, we have to make like a separate lore episode, I think, because it's like very over an hour in, for sure. Yeah. And let's talk about Byrd next. And Byrd is okay. Tibu and I agree. That's cool for once. A little bit different, not just Vic and me. Byrd is where is he? He's traveling through the page. Here he is. A 4-mana 2/5, another Runeterra champion, and originally we look at it soon. Attack, he plants these chimes into the deck. They're like reverse traps. They're on your deck, and then hand buff something when you draw it. Buff something by +1/+1. And he levels up if you have increased the total stats of allies in play or hand by 20. And this is only for external stat buffs. So if your own unit gives itself +1/+1, doesn't work. If you have like an everywhere buff, for example, this does work. And then on level 2, he on attack plants 6 chimes instead of 3, and whenever you activate a chime, whenever you draw it, you give +1/+1 to one random ally in play. And the origin is you can play all cards that play chimes with them, or have chimes on them in your deck. So it just comes with all of this chime package that we will see later. And on round start, you plant a chime in your deck for each bar that started the game in your deck. So if you have 3 off, you plant 3 chimes. And you don't have to have a Byrd in your deck or in your hand. You have to have him in your deck. You don't have to have him in your hand. Because like with Jhin, you have to have him in your hand to do something. This one will just always activate and give you more stats. His Jhin gets a spell, 3-mana burst, draw a follower, activate the effects of all boons, the top 3 cards. So basically what does Byrd do? He gives a lot of stats to some random stuff. A little bit random when you get them because you have to draw these stats, but it's a lot of stats. And I think that's very good because you can pair it up with elusives, for example, and attach. There's a lot of different shells you can put this in. Zero, you don't like Bard. Why is that?
I'm not gonna comment too much on Bard because I'm more like a combo kind of player. I don't really like playing only on the board, so I'm not gonna comment on Bard too much. I think it is gonna be strong. I don't like him.
Okay, just don't like him. Okay. So, Vic, do you also not like Bard, or do you think he's not going to be strong?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, Bard feels like they are very slow and mid-rangey. I do recognize what you said about elusives, and I think there's a lot of synergy with Overwhelm. But I mean, those concepts are already... I guess maybe Bard takes those concepts and those archetypes from being very meh and whatever to being playable. So, and that's why I gave him a 5. I think that the package is fine. I think that once again, Bard as a 3 splash is going to be really cool. And I think that if you're playing a card just to splash it, I can't say that you're like a meta-defining card by my personal definition. So he's fine, or it's fine. I don't know. Bard's okay. It's whatever. I'm not really gonna play that card at all. Probably.
Okay, Thibaut, do you want to add anything?
Well, I think that the potential to buff beyond stupidity your units, that's insane. Because if you like, this is for the mid-range players, of course, maybe and some of the mid-range combo type, because to bring down and I saw a lot of gameplay today that show how big the units can come into play, even cheap units. So I think to give a cheap unit huge stats, it's a huge value. And yeah, I get that some people don't like this type of slow archetypes, but come on, let's have something for everyone. And like one wise man said, elusives and overwhelm they are born because they hit face. So so imagine this. You just said it. Just this huge elusive by cost 1, cost 2, just hitting you in the face. I like it. That's why, because of and also the synergy that has with all the cards that we will see furthermore. I think it's great. It's great for all the mid-range lovers.
Let's be honest. We all want to see Rico Rex build some kind of Bard on that. Like,
absolutely.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest.
Yeah, that's true. Rico Bard. Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay. Next card here on our list is Byrd, the Bellringer. It's a very vanilla card. In Battle City, 1 mana, 2/1. All of these Bard cards are kind of split around in regions. When I'm summoned, plant a charm on top of the deck. So you will the top card of your deck. So the next time you will draw a card, you get like a +1/+1 buff on a random unit in your hand. It's similar to Inspiring Mentor, where you just buff one unit for +1/+0. Used to be +1/+1, got nerfed. This one will just do it by 1 turn delayed, so you can't immediately do it. But we all say it's a decent card. We all are at 6, Thibaut at 8. And it's pretty vanilla. Don't know if you have anything to add to it. I think it's just a fine card.
Me?
Okay. No. Thibaut, do you want to add anything?
No.
Okay. Good. Then short one. This one will be definitely fine playable. One question, would you play it outside of Bard decks? Like just in a normal, like Yordles and Arms list, for example? Nick?
Yeah. It's a 2/1. It's a 1 mana 2/1. Dude, it blocks rear guard. It's good.
Okay.
It's playable.
So you can consider it over Yordle Squire sometimes. Maybe not in the like Aphelios list where you need the spell from Yordle Squire. But yeah, it's very vanilla, very not that much to say about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just really, really cold on the entire Bard package. I think chimes are just
No, I like them.
really boring.
I like them.
I don't know. I'm glad that this archetype brings joy to people. Like it needs, yeah. Like I know a lot of people don't like Byrd, so it's fine. Like
Okay, like do we have the same rating for Esmus and Byrd? It's interesting. Or did I just look?
Good luck.
We all have 6, 6, 6, and 8 again. Look it up if it's the same or if I messed something up.
Yeah.
Cool. So let's read Esmus. 2 mana in Targon this time. 2 mana 0-2 elusive. And then summon, grant Planet Charm on the top card of the deck, so the same effect again. And support, grant my support ally +1/+1. Similar to like Young Witch, but doesn't deal damage on itself. However, like I first had it like at a 4 or something or 3 because I thought like it just gets challenged and stuff. But just having these big elusives or elusive in general to put all of your chimes on will be good. This will often not come down as a 0-2, but as like a 2-4, 3-5, 4-6. Then it will be actually pretty strong, I would say. And just elusive in general will be very good in the Bard archetype. Thibaut, you want to add anything?
Well, as part of the Bard package that we already saw, and as I've been saying, just imagine all these elusive cards being buffed, and also these ones just gave support also. It has all the value that of course the Bard package needs. Okay, it puts a chimney in, and also the grant, and it also has elusive. So some units will have of course a hard time to try to kill it. So some players will have a hard time trying to remove this just because of the support, and that's why probably they gave it elusive because it doesn't have power. It's a weak unit. So giving elusive, I think it's a value for it because the only way you can remove this unit that's giving support to your opponent is that by spending mana trying to remove it. So that's why I think it's a very good card.
Okay, Vic, what do you think?
I think that the support on this card is like really crazy. It's a grant and I support.
Oh, it's a grant, yes. It's crazy.
It's a grant.
Yeah,
wow.
It's a grant. Yeah. And
that.
so anything that like is granting +1 HP is like even like a give this round +1 HP. We've seen that be so impactful across so many different cards.
Yeah.
Like I've been talking about this a lot lately, but like if you look at the Temple, if you look at Grand Plaza, all of these effects that were buffing HP were toned down. And I think that even outside of the Bard package, I think this card is going to be pretty sick. I don't think it's going to be like meta defining or like overly strong, but I think it's a very solid card, especially because it's like even if like they somehow kill it immediately, it's at the least a +1/+1.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's fine. I mean, in general, I guess, going back on like how I've been talking, I talk so highly about adding health, and then I'm going to like talk so lowly of chimes. I just get bored. Like I like what it'll do for the game. I just don't find it it's not compelling to me. But I think it is like Esmus is going to be fine. It's going to be in a lot of random decks, I think.
Yeah. Sure. It always depends on what people like. I play Blue Eyes in Yu-Gi-Oh! And just like slamming down my big units each turn. So that makes me happy.
Okay. Yeah. Well, then, like that's why I was surprised that you didn't like the tentacles.
No, I bought a tag. I don't think they're good. But like we already talked about it, so.
Yeah, I know. I'm just calling back to it. Yeah.
Let's move on to the next card, Mystic Vortex. We are split here again. Interesting. I think I misread this card a little bit. So it's a 2-mana Targon landmark. When I'm summoned or when I count down, plant 3 chimes on random cards in your deck. So in total you get 9 chimes out of it and count down 2 to draw a card. My biggest issue with this card, I'm at 4, Vic at 5, Zero at 6, and Thibaut at 8. My biggest issue with this card is that it's not a unit that you I just imagine in the late game you have like Bard out and have all of these units you want to play, all of these elusives run out of cards, then you draw this and it's like a bad top deck. You get a card out of it eventually, but it just doesn't really immediately give you some value. It's a lot of stats, so maybe I would change it like to 5 or 6 here, but I don't think I would go up to 8. It's just like not a unit. I just want to play units with Bard because my units will be so big. I would really need more chimes, is my feeling. Tibu, why would you think it's very good?
For the archetype, it's good. It says it's very cheap, so it's when I'm summon or on countdown you plan 3 chimps, so you have a lot of chimps with this card by a very, very low cost, and also you have a draw. So I think that's why I think for the archetype it's good, because it can cycle your deck also, and not only give you value with the chimps. That's why.
Okay, maybe you can change me to a 6. I think I like just seeing the card in play and seeing it in action is fine. But yeah.
No, actually, if this card didn't have draw, I would rate it. But the draw is draw is a huge mechanic.
Yeah, but it's so slow. It's such a slow draw. It's like half of a Perseverance draw. Yeah. It's not immediate draw. Like if a top deck this, it still does nothing for 2 turns.
Well, it plants charms.
Yeah,
like that's what it does. Like if it drew you the turn that it summoned and planted, it'd be kind of way too strong.
Yeah. Anyways, Proximity Puffcap is next. Oh, Vic, you don't like this one. 2 mana slow in Battle City, deal 1 to unit. If one of your taps or boons activate this round, deal 3 to it instead. So boons are the chimes, and chimes don't count as traps. And this one's either 2 mana deal 1, which is like meh, or 2 mana deal 3, which is really strong. Vic, why do you like it?
I just think that the second half of the text is going to be a little bit too not consistent to proc in order to get that 3 damage. I mean, I think the high rolls, if you can get this procced on like turn 2, I guess you could, right, with Byrd, like you can like really, really set this up very well. So I guess because there's so many cards that plant directly on the next card, you could like plan out very well. I guess I like this card a lot more in boon decks than in Puffcap decks. The thing that I hate about it is that even though it's in the Bard package, you can't play this without being in Battle City first. Like, I wish there was a way for this card to be included with Bard decks, even though it doesn't have like the fact that it plants boons. Just because the fact that it mentions boons, I think, I don't know. This card just feels super weak. To me, it just feels harder to proc than like other removal. I don't know. I don't like Puffcaps.
I feel like I like Puffcaps. I think they're one of the coolest mechanics of the game because you can't just like mindlessly throw a draw on your turn deck and be like, haha, I have a draw 5 and I win now, like in Yu-Gi-Oh! Where just every draw 2 is broken. I think it's like very clever mechanic to balance it out. And I just think 2 mana deal 3 is so strong. And yeah, I think we all.
Yeah, I can see that. I think I could probably bump my score up actually.
Okay, you're all in agreement then. Let's move over to the last card, a little bit confusing card. I thought it was a signature spell, but it isn't. Cosmic Binding. God, now it's going to be hard to find. Oh, what? You think this card is okay? What? Okay, let's do it first. 5 mana fast. Battle City. Deal 2 to an enemy and start another. So deal 1 2 to 1 and start another, and then you get 3 chimes as well. I gave it a 3, Vic a 5, Tiburon and Zero a 7. Why am I so low on it? I like 5 mana deal 2, meh. Like you're not happy to play that ever. 5 mana stunner unit, meh. If you do both, a little bit more, the chimes are like coming into play at some point maybe. I'm still not happy. Like if you compare this to like Celestial Wonder, actually it doesn't look that bad. You kill one and then you stun one. So maybe it's like fine-ish, but you can't shut down 2 units. It's like, I just feel like it's multiple effects that don't really go that well together or do that much in combination. Zero, what do you think? Why did you give it a 7?
Because I think that it's another step into giving more tools to Bundle City. and I don't think Bundle City really needs those tools because Bundle City already does a lot of stuff very well. But having more stuff like this card, let's be real, this card is in meta where we are potentially against like multiple, like for example, an Aphelios, a Librarian with elusive. You can just stun the Librarian, like kill the Yordle Squire. So you're getting rid of 2 units. You're planting chimes. You can attack with your units. You're getting advantage on the board. I think it's pretty strong, honestly.
Okay, yeah, I think comparing it to Celestial Wonder, it's just like better. Okay, like sorry, Vic, for bothering you all the time, but I would also change it to 5 at least. I just kind of overlooked it a little bit. Okay, that's the Bard package. We all like. I don't think like anybody of you is very hyped about Bard.
You are, so that's all that matters.
Yeah, that's fine. Like,
I'm happy that like I think it's gonna be cool with elusives and overwhelm, but like I know that a lot of people don't love those archetypes overall, and like I feel like it's gonna be weird.
I already said I think Bard plus elusive attach is gonna be broken, but I won't like it anyways.
Yeah, it's going to be a fine vanilla archetype. You buff your units and exists. Yeah, I think we talked about it.
Maduli?
Oh, no, wait, thank you. Maduli down here. Wow, playable. What?
Playable.
Whoa.
Playable. to the dumpster fire.
Okay.
I don't know about this one.
6 mana, 7/6. Density, when I'm summoned, play a chime on top card of your deck, then double the boons in the deck. How this works, it doesn't actually double the individual cards, just puts the same number of boons into the deck as you have already in the deck. That's how it works with Timo. And I assume it works with this card as well. My reasoning is, this card is a 6 mana unit that gives you more stuff later that you have to draw. Like similar to the other guy, 5 mana, 5/8, has to survive the next turn to do stuff. This one is a 6 mana 4/6 that eventually gives you more stats. I think it's just really, really slow. And if you're like playing a fast elusive deck, you want immediate stats, not just like a random 6 mana vanilla dude that gives you more stats later on. Tibu, why do you think it's good?
Well, yeah, I give you the slow part. That's why I rated with a 7, not rated higher. What I like is that, and I saw it in play today, that all of a sudden just double up all the wounds. That's a huge value for the bug package. So this is like the type of help that the bug package need to just double up all the buffs that the Jhins can give you. So that's why I like this card. It's not broken, no, it's not. But it's not unplayable. It's not complete garbage. I mean, you can play one off, of course. I don't think you play 2 of this. I think you just play 1. It has good stat line, 4 for attack, and 6 for you can take a lot of huge units that comes in the mid range decks, and that's why I like it.
Okay, very cool. Good, and that concludes our Bard review, and we can move on to the next or the normal cards. And we have still they released a lot of random cards here. I think we can like go over some of those. We all agree are like not that good, a little bit faster. But let's see if we agree at all.
Filler cards.
That thing is, there are not really that many filler cards here. Okay, this one's pretty, we all agree on it. Harbinger of Thralls is our first one.
Jeez.
And it's a 2 mana, Freljord, 2/2. On play, you either summon a Frozen Thrall or advance all your Frozen Thralls by 1. We all gave it an 8, Tibu a 7. I think this is really good for the Thrall deck, because where you lose is that you don't draw your Thralls, and this one is just another Thrall, and if you already have a Thrall, you just advance it. It's like a little bit of a worse clockwork curator. This gives you more consistency. The main way to lose with Thralls is just to don't draw any of your 6 Thrall generators, or like, I guess 9 with the Sakum. Well, we'll just make the archetype more consistent. We are all at 8 here, all in agreement that it's good. Unless someone really wants to add something here, I think we can just move on to the next one. Or Vic?
Shout out to Hanzo.
Why?
I said I should shout out to Hanzo. You know, he's gonna be slamming it.
Okay. Good. We all say it's good. So, next card, I hope you all say it's bad, but maybe not. I didn't actually look at all the ratings. Kinkou's Call. Okay, Vic, you like it. Zero doesn't like it. Kinkou's Call. A 4-mana Snow in Ionia. Summon a Keeper of Masks now, or at the next round starts, only get one of those, draw 1. Keeper of Masks is a 2-3, that's already a game, and buffs all of your units by 1 power for a round when it's summoned. So 4 mana 2-3, that buffs all units, and you actually get to draw 1. Nick, you like it? Why? So maybe ratings 0, give it a 2. I gave it a 4, Tibu a 5, Vic a 7. So Vic, how do you like it?
Yeah, I really liked it because, I love summoning units with spell mana. And the fact that this card is not only drawing you one, but it also provides you with the flexibility to either buff your board this turn if you have the attack token, or if you need to defend, against fearsomes or whatever you need to think about, or if you want to have a nice open attack the next round. I think that that's a really powerful flex point. You know what I mean? We don't have a lot of cards that summon at the beginning of round start for the next turn. We have the Sapling Toss, we have the Monkey Business. I think that having a unit appearing at the beginning of a turn that enables you to open attack and is also buffing your entire board, I think that's a very powerful concept that Ionia, especially Ionia's Swarm, I don't think that they've had that many tools, and I think it's going to really help them.
Counterpoint 0, why do you give it a 2? Lowest rating so far.
Yeah, I don't really like it. I don't think it has a place in the meta. I don't think what deck would run it, honestly? I don't see a place for the card in the meta.
Bad elusives. I already have so many sets. Vic, do you want to respond?
No, I was just saying elusives.
Yeah.
Sad. Bad deck. It needs help.
Maybe. I think we are in the middle. We're on average 4.5, Tibu and I. So I think we can just it exists. Will maybe be tried out, but
yeah,
not the most exciting card ever. Interesting with the round start. I like how every card, no matter you can really disagree, but mostly you just keep on average. There's no really card where you say filler trash, throw it in the garbage, and yeah. Anyways, next card on the list is okay, this one. Whoa!
I see that.
Whoa!
Oh, what happened?
Protective Broodfather. I would say the most broken combo card here. 8 mana Demacia Dragon. Protective Broodfather is a 7/7 with Fury. Attack draw unit. If it's a dragon, summon it attacking. One of the important combos, if you just have this as a dragon in your deck, you will summon another one and you will summon another one. So a deck I've seen already is counterfeit copies of this one. You just mobilize and you put extra copies of this in your deck, and turn 6 you summon 6, 7 attacking, which is way more realistic than the Nagakabouros, whatever, spawning for tentacles in my opinion. It's why I gave it a 6, Tibu gave it a 7, Vic and Zero gave it a 2. What happened here? Yes, exactly. Zero, what happened here?
I don't like it. I just don't know how to say other than I don't like the concept and the card itself.
Do you not think it's going to be strong or viable, or do you just not like it?
I both, honestly, both.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think that we've ever seen Demacia be able to reliably get to late game in order to utilize their big bombs. We rarely, we had the big Cithria deck, and we do see Tiana Crown Guard played very rarely, but I don't know, big Demacia cards tend to be pretty unimpactful to the game, and this one, especially with the combo that you're referencing, I think it's just a little too all in to be successful in Legends of Runeterra. And so I had a hard time rating it highly. I thought that the combo, so let's say if the combo is viable, I think it would be very strong. Let's put it that way. I just don't think that the combo will be reliable or viable, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Tibu, counterpoint? Or?
Well, I see what you saw. That this card. First off, I'm gonna say that I will not put more than one. Yes.
Oh.
Because already the archetype has it's like a little bit slow, but if you combo it correctly, like I saw this video, or where a guy got this crazy idea, and it puts just a lot of these dragons in the deck and just high roll a poor guy. So the concept it's very appealing actually. No, and yeah, it's crazy and very slow to do it, but if you do it, it's a finisher, and also the card himself is a finisher because let's say you play this and you get a real soul attacking, instantly attacking. So that's a huge 10-10 with spell shield plus fury coming your way. So I'm trying to stop it. So yeah, that's why I like it, right? You can have either or just think about it. Also, you already have Aurelion Soul. You play this and you bring another Aurelion Soul, or you bring another one of these if you want to, and you bring another Aurelion. So you're all of a sudden you have like 3 dragons, huge dragons in your board. So that doesn't sound that crazy for a finisher. You see?
No, it definitely does.
And yeah, I think flavor-wise, this is my favorite card from the whole set. Like I said, like Blue Eyes is my favorite deck in Yu-Gi-Oh!
Mm-hmm.
Just like throwing a bunch of dragons in the battlefield or the board.
Yeah,
it's super fun, and I will definitely build a deck around it. Like probably be my first card to turn prismatic in this new set.
No, I'm really excited. Okay, so I rated this card very low, because like I'm very excited about it, and typically whenever I'm really excited or I think a card is really fun or cool, it's really really bad. And so I'm not confident that, because I would love to play that deck where you swing on 8 and then you summon 8 dragons. That's super cool. I feel like whenever we have like such big combos, they're never that strong. And I want it to be good, and I think it's really flavorful and interesting. So I hope it's good, and I would love to be wrong on it. So Conan, please break this deck, break that card, and let's go.
Yeah, let's go to the next card. Indeed. We have to scroll a lot now. The Winding Light. Wow, we all agree it's good. What?
This is a good card. Finally. Something we agree.
Yes, like we agreed sometimes.
We agreed on the Bilgewater removal.
Yeah.
Oh, it's actually this guy. Okay.
Yeah. So let's read.
It's a Nightfall guy. 7 mana, Targon, 6/5 Overwhelm. Nightfall give other allies +2/+1 and Overwhelm this round. So if a Nightfall deck exists, I think this will play it as a 1-off potentially, or like over Cygnus. Maybe like Cygnus is the other finisher in Nightfall decks. And yeah, it's just like a general good unit, goes wide and gives a bunch of stats. Vic, you want to elaborate?
I think this card is going to be crazy, right? And I think this card is going to be explicitly crazy with Bard, right? If we're able to really utilize the thick bodies, and maybe this even goes with like Illaoi, I think this card is crazy, right? It's this effect we can relate it to the Scourge, which is the 10 mana Celestial that grants gives your entire board Overwhelm when it's attacking. But I think this card, it's 7 mana, so it's not super expensive. I would say that 7 mana is like the most expensive you can really think about most cards. I think +2 attack and +1 health is going to be nerfed. I think it's going to be a +2/+0 or a +1/+0. I really think, okay, like the more I think about this card, like the crazier it gets. I think it's sick.
I heavily doubt it will be nerfed. Like, you have to activate Nightfall to it, so you can't just like slam it on 7 and have like a sharp set open or whatever.
Yeah,
you have to actively play a spell beforehand, then you have like 1 spell mana open usually, or 2 spell mana open, and it's just quicksand you and you set. And like it's a good finisher, but it's like, yeah.
They quicksand you, but you have a 6-wide board.
Yeah, but then you have like,
saying?
you have a 6-wide board, your opponent doesn't play a region where you just ruinations you after you play a finisher. It's like a lot of dreaming.
Opponent playing all removal in the game all the time with the perfect answers. Them.
Yeah, like if it goes to turn 7, if you play opponent plays like Byrd, it never goes to turn 7. You never need a finisher. Like,
yeah.
I think this card's super sick. I don't know. It's still a 7. Like out of 10. Like it's not like meta defining or meta breaking, but it's sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, it's fine. I find this one more boring.
No, you give it a 6. I think that's cool.
It's okay.
Valid.
Yeah.
Good.
Considering you're a tough audience, it's great.
Okay, next
We're
card.
gonna have a lot to argue about later.
Okay. Oh no, like the even. What? 9?
Whoa!
Are you serious? Like, where are you seeing this? Let me read it first. Chamber of Renewal. 3 mana, Shurima, landmark. When you summon a champion, destroy me to grant it +2/+1 and spell shield. So we gave it a 5. Everybody, me and Zero, we gave it a 4. Tibu, you gave it a 9. Why?
Why? Do you really ask why?
Yes.
Oh,
like
man. Look at the cost. It costs 3, so it's cheap.
Meh.
Okay, it's cheap. It doesn't have so you play your champion and you have insta +2/+1 plus the spell shield. So that's a lot of stats coming in to a champion. Okay, at a cheap cost. So you save using for Shurima other type of cards probably because it also buffs your unit. Especially I see like I play the Sun Disc, so I don't play anymore the 2-cost card. So I play this, I drop down my Zerat and Good Luck trying to remove it, or my Azir and Good Luck trying to kill it, or your action that it's a pain in in anybody's side. So just imagine playing okay. You I know you play action on curve, I know, but you get your action killed sometimes. You play this, you then play action. Or for the guys that love to play the Blighted Rabbit or whatever. You can combo this with 6 Thalia, because there are a lot of archetypes that have that are not with Shuriken. Or with Viego, the Viego archetype, you play this and you have a +2/+1 Viego plus spell shield. Thank you very much. So it's a very strong card.
No, I totally disagree here. It's like, for example, with Sundisk, you said you play Sundisk, but like most matchups has come down to a race. Like your opponent will just hit you. If you get above your champion star and flip them, you win anyways. Even if they kill them, you just have another copy in your hand.
But it's also part of the combo because imagine you need a landmark to proc Zera. You play this, boom. Landmark get destroyed, Zero level up, +2/+1 plus spell shield. Thank you.
But you don't have the time for playing a 3-minute to nothing before you play your champion. Like, I just kill you.
I don't know. I just told you what. Okay, Viego. You use this and you protect Viego.
Yeah, but in Viego you want to play your other guy, your Cameroon guy on 3 or your Masses Hunter. Like, you have too many 3-ups in the deck already.
No, you can play Viego. Okay, I don't think you play Viego in turn 5. When you play that deck, you played later when it's buffed big enough. Let's say you don't find the Cameroon. You just find one, you don't find the other. You play this anyway, and you protect your Viego, and it's also buffed. The thing is that it buffs your units, it buffs your champions, and it gives them spell shit. That I think for champions, it's a lot of value. I actually saw some crazy people imagining the Monofiora Shurima resurrecting because of this. So I don't think so. I don't know. Maybe.
I don't see it. I think it's just 3 mana do nothing, and none of the Shurima champions really want it.
Okay.
I think it's
Zero? It gives Zero a chance to say something.
yeah.
No, honestly, I was very hyped when I saw this card the first time. But then we were in the gaming house, no? And Brokemon was with me, and he immediately started explaining why he thought the card was very bad, and I got actually convinced. So I don't buy it. It's too expensive. That deck wants value play, like what's play on the board. It's a mid range. It cannot spend that much mana on a landmark that does nothing. That's my opinion.
And like the special is the most impactful for like against control decks, right? And like you beat Sundisk, you beat every control deck anyways. Why do you need Space Shield? Like,
then again, I can be wrong.
Yeah, you can all be wrong, of course. That's like the premise of this.
Yeah, well, I also can be. I can also be wrong. Come back later and say, you were right.
I want to say that like I can be wrong. So
we can all be wrong.
All of us.
Yeah. But the majority vote goes to 5. Sorry, Tibu. Good, this is not a democracy. Maybe you're still right. Interesting. I didn't think we would disagree on this card so much, but I didn't really. I was like also like, oh my god, this card is insane, but I didn't really find a good, easy home for it. Maybe in Sundisk, we can try it out.
It curves into Zera, and it takes one less action than the current way to give them spell shield. And I think that's like, I had it at 4. I'll bump it. I bumped up to 7. I'll dial it back to 5. I think it's fine. I think it's really spicy with Akshan. Especially, I think it really makes second Akshan that you draw later on really scary. Obviously, it doesn't matter with Sivir. I think it's really cool with Renekton. And it curves into Renekton really nice.
Yeah, but Renekton is a meme, so like.
Yeah, but I think if we can find ways to empower Renekton, then the crocodile may rise.
Hope you.
Okay.
Yeah, with Renekton it actually makes sense, and with Narcissus it kind of makes sense to protect him from the strike, but like these two champions I don't see like as a competitive deck right now.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see, exactly.
3 is expensive. I think if it was 1, I think that'd be great.
1, yeah, it would be great. Like 2 is like playable when I would play it, but 3,
yeah, I think
it's fine.
I think 1 is like very good.
1 is insane, yeah. Anyways, Chamber of Renewal, where are we? Cosmic Binding, Maduli, I lost track. The Binding Light, Revna. What? Tibu, you like Revna? They have to explain it to me. 6 mana, Freljord, 2/2. When I'm summoned, grant units in your deck my stats, and then draw a unit with 5+ power. Again, Tibu is the one outsider giving it an 8. Zero gave it an 1. Conan gave it a 2, and Big a 3. So you all think it's a pretty memey card. Tibu, get it out. Why would you say it's good?
Well, I don't know if all of you guys are here since the beta. I know the beta is a long time ago, but until today, it also, I think that the mid range from the mid range decks from Freljord are quite strong. Okay, they have been forgotten. I think this for the people that like this type of combo of decks, of mid-range decks, I think it's a very good card, because you see, yes, you play one of these only. I don't think you play more, but it says, when I'm summoned, grant units in your deck. That's all the deck. My stats. Then draw a unit with 5+ power. So just imagine buffing this unit in hand, in deck, whatever come play, and you just imagine you play this with a 5/5 instead of a 2/2, or a 6/2, 6/6 instead of a 6/2. Then you buff all your units with that 6/6. So that's, I think it's huge. It's a huge buff. I think it's a huge buff. I played this archetype a lot, so I admit it's a one-off only, but I admit that it has a great value with this type of archetype. So for the lovers of this archetype, this is the type of card they will be playing no doubt. And it is very helpful. It's not expensive.
Mhm.
It comes in Corp also, so that's very important for the mid-range.
Sure. Okay.
So I think it has all the elements to be a good card for this.
Okay.
Archetype.
Zero, what is the counter argument? Do you want to have?
I just think it's too slow. No?
Yeah.
I'm thinking about the 5/5, the current 5/5 that gives everything +1/+1, and it's not played. I think this one is like really too slow.
Yeah.
I see it being a valid tempo play or a valid play at all, even in a slower mid-range like Frostbite deck or something like that. I don't see it.
And even with like Bard revealed right now, like if you want stats, you just can play a Bard deck. Like, and if I'm always like looking at this from a scout player perspective, and like if you play a 6-mana 2/2 3/3 4/4 with eventually you get more stats, I'm just like haha rally and you're dead. So like I don't see this card at all.
Yeah.
So
This is really
we can all hope.
War Mother is great.
War Mother's Call, oh boy. Anyways, next card. Captive Greyback. Oh, we all agree on this one. Will be decent. 4 mana in Noxus, 2/3 Overwhelm, and it has a weird Talir skill again. Deals 3 to the blocker, and if it's gone, deals 3 to the Nexus. I and Vic give it a 6, Tiburon and Zero give it a 7. Vic, do you want to explain why this is fine?
Sure. Okay. Actually, this card's crazy, right? Because it's a 5/3 overwhelm with 3 quick attack. That's so cool.
Yeah, it's like
I don't know. It curves, and like I mentioned earlier with the Prefect, 3 and 4 mana slots for overwhelm decks are lacking, and this card is going to replace the ramp overwhelm card that overwhelm was being forced to run just to have anything on curve. Turn 5 is your Battle Fury turn because you bank on turn 3 or turn 4 depending on your hand, and then you have 8 mana to spend on the open attack. And so having a turn 4 overwhelm unit that also is dealing 3 to the face and also removing health from the blocker, like, this card is absolutely nuts, right? Like, this card is, like, actually crazy. Like, the more I talk about it, like, this card is... like, what is... I love this card. Like, I love this card. This card is going to be prismatic.
But we changed it from a 6 to 9. That's a little bit...
Bro, this card's crazy. It's crazy.
It's, like, only good on offense, and like, it gets eaten by Broadwing.
Oh my god, Broadwing, bro. Okay.
Change it back to 6. Before someone sees it. No, we don't.
Here.
Oh boy. I was like, we all agree, and now...
No, we all agree that this card's playable.
Yeah,
it's fine.
To different
like
degrees.
I like it.
Yeah, okay. I will keep it at 6. I'm not going to raise it. We'll see playing Jhin decks maybe as well. Straight Jhin decks. Noxus.
Anti-decks.
Exactly. Anyways. Anyways.
I think this is your anti-finisher, actually. I think this is more of a finisher than the Burning House.
Yeah, potentially. Okay, Storm of Blades, garbage. We can at least read it. 5 slow Ionia. For the rest of the game, when you Blade Dance, summon another attacking blade, and you get to Blade Dance 1. I think this card would be better if you didn't have the Dragon Ambush. It will take this slot in the Aurelia all the time. We will look at this card later.
These are Aurelia flashbacks, but luckily for us, that deck is dead. It's not gonna come back.
It's not dead though. Like, it's not dead.
I am very sad about it, but yes.
That deck is 51%.
It's playable. It's like very polarizing, but it's playable. I think it will come back.
I don't think it's gonna come back.
Ooh,
No, it's not.
I think you're wrong, Zero. It's already back.
Yeah.
Like it's a like we like Rogio. No, not Rogio. Who was it? It was Aurora. Aurora took it through open round. Like, it's a great tournament deck.
Yeah, but I don't think it will survive the change of set.
We will
Really?
see. We'll see. We'll see.
Which
I
change?
can't believe you're. Yeah, it's. I'm sorry. Like, it's just crazy that you're seeing them add a card to an existing and once oppressive and powerful archetype, and saying that it's not going to make it through this expansion. Like that. Like, I'm not. I'm not trying to say that this card's good, but that's.
I'm like I didn't understand yet. Zero, why would you say this is not a good card? Why would you say it's not a, like? Why would you say it's not surviving the? What change do you think is not so going to survive?
Storm of Blade, it's a.
I think Burn is gonna take over.
Byrd is going to take over. Okay.
Yes, but you
save,
still see it.
yeah, the one thing that will potentially save Aziralia to the change is the Dragon Ambush.
Yeah, we will talk about this card soon.
Yeah, later. We are going to get there.
Yeah, Tibu, you gave it a 4. Do you want to say anything about this card?
Actually, yeah, I was mistaken. I was looking. I rated cards wrongly. I saw one of that. One was this. Yeah, I think it's trash because. Okay, first of all, for the cost and for the speed on the late dancing archetype, it doesn't fit. It's just awful. Actually, I think it's awful. Yeah, I rated higher for you than you because probably my you can see that my ratings are not like so extreme like you.
Yeah.
So for me a 4 is like a 1-4-0. So so yeah, I think it's a horrible card. It's a bad card. It doesn't fit. It doesn't fit.
Okay, we all agree then. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, we can move on to we can talk about Aziralia later. If you're still here, Aziralia lovers, don't turn off. We can talk about this deck more when you come to the actual good card for the deck.
Yeah. It's gonna be cracked.
Captain Freyback, Megatusk. We see who loves. Well, we had to discard some of Blades. We just had all 1, 2, 3, 4 basically. Nobody really liked this.
Low rate.
Megatusk, 4 mana, sea monster, 3/4, deep. Once you are deep, heal your allies and your Nexus 3. It will, if it comes into play and if you are deep, it will activate. If you go deep later, it will activate. It will heal you and your allies for 3. I gave it a 4, Vicar 5, 0/6, Tibu a 7. I think if it would be a 3/4, if it would be a 3 mana card, it would be very, very strong. At 4 mana, it competes with Maokai. It's just a little bit low tempo, and it heals you later on, but I don't really see it that much.
That was a weird statement on it.
Why?
4 mana competes with Maokai. That's such a weird do you ever want to play Maokai on 4?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No, you never do it.
No, dude.
No,
that's he's your OT. He's your finisher.
Yeah,
You
just play it. Yeah.
As a tempo, this card coming down on 4 is terrifying to me because I view this deck as someone who's trying to play fearsomes, and I'm like, all right, well, I'm fucked now. I can't. Thank you. And then they're healing later. That's crazy. I think this card I just don't think that Deep's gonna be good, but I think this card is good.
But if they do, they don't withering value. You're happy with spiders and they play a 4 mana 3/4. But I didn't play that much deep, but you really never if you want to go deep fast, right? You really play Maokai and you just have him sit there in the matchups and generate tossing.
No,
I think there's better ways to turbo.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. Wig is right. Okay, you never ever never play Maokai and Curve never. When one you hit or when you are 4 or 5 cards away from deep, you slam Maokai, you burst speed his level up, and you finish the game. You don't play it early because then you lose the game.
Uninteractive.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I've never seen it this way. Maybe and I've never seen a professional deep play either. But
I used to play against fucking random a lot in OLS, so I just got clapped by him constantly, just incidentally. and he's like one of the best deep players out there. I think.
Okay, so it's a fine card for deep. We can settle on that. And if deep is good, we will see this card. And I think it will be good enough to just push deep into the meta alone. Oh, there's so many more cards. Anyways, Song of Blades, Sputtering Songspinner. Why? What? No.
Whoa!
No, come on, man.
Wait a second. Y'all are off the pod.
But you never. Why would you ever put this in your deck? Are you serious, man?
Why we are off the pod? Both of you are off the pod. Tell them so. Tell them so. Tell them so.
You're gonna take over. We're gonna rebrand the channel.
This card is broken. If you like, this card is the
Oh,
fair.
crazy.
Like,
All right, wait, hold on. Before we talk about it, let's read the text first.
Okay. 7-mana burst, Sputtering Songspinner. Pick one of two new, so not yet played in the match before, 2-cost cards to create in hand and set its cost to 0 this round. Repeat 2 more times. So get 2 random 2-cost cards to create in hand. And you get to play basically 3 2-cost cards for 7 mana.
This is broken.
Why is it broken?
Because you can get this card from Pharaohs.
We said you put this card into your deck. We literally said not from Pharaohs. Like,
Honestly, one off, potentially. I'm never gonna put this card in more than one off, but from Pharaohs it's obviously.
we said not to create cards.
So bad. Here, you have to, like, I don't care. You have to consider the amount of times you're gonna get the anomaly or Pharaohs.
By your resolution, then the rating of Pharaoh's Financier goes up because this card gets added.
Pharaohs is
This
10.
card
Pharaohs is 10.
by itself is
Pharaohs,
not good.
Pharaohs was 10 already.
Okay, good. So I mean, we can accept that. Like that, I think we have to think about this card by itself.
Yes, that's why that was the premise. Like not generated by controllers, generated by something else. But if you put this card in the deck by yourself, it was the premise.
Yeah. Okay. For me, I will say, just read the text. Yes. Pick one of 2 new. So you already have. You have the advantage to pick 2 cards. So why is people complaining about control? Because it generates something and you got to pick. Okay, this is okay. Pick one. It doesn't like generate from thin air, I know, but it says pick 2 off, and then creating hand and set its cost to 0. So yeah, it's a 0 mana because you already spent 7. Plus also repeat 2 more times. So that same thing you did. You will repeat it again. So you will have more. Also, the other all 2 cards at 0 cost 2 times more. So I think that's why I like this card. I need to see it in action because I am imagining things, and probably if I put it into play, and it's something else. But as far as I imagine, I think this is great value because it's also burst speed. That's why it's burst. Because if they play it at slow or fast, even if it was cheaper, it won't see play. But it's cost 7 at burst. That means that you can be reactive because you can have, like it says, 2 cost cards at 0 cost. So you have, for example, let's say you have Mystic Shots cost 0. You have some things that cost 2 at cost 0. And you can act reactively, and also you can repeat that action 2 more times, and you will have this card at cost 0. So I think it just paid itself. The payoff is good for this card, I think, and that's why I like it.
Tibu, do you have any idea how many 2-cost cards there are in the game? There's about like 300 or 400 2-cost cards right now, and around 200 of those are minions. You just get like a random 2/2.
I know there are a lot. I know, but what we complain, and sometimes the RNG just help you. So why not? I see why not.
Yeah, but like most of the time you just have to choose between a Statue Swarm and like a Hunt the Weak or something, and you just like.
I know that's what I say. I like you said, I'm probably wrong, and I'm just delusional because why not? And when I see gameplay, I will say, "Oh my, Connor, they were so right." And
so, which deck do you put this in? Do you like put this in like Ezra Caton this or something?
That's one off. Caton's one off as finisher. Yes.
Okay.
always. One off in K-Tats, I think it's absolutely playable. One off, potentially in I don't know, burn decks. Like if you build like a Jhin, a burn deck, you put this as one off because you're gonna run potentially Piltover.
I can see that more like as a treasure trash, basically, where you get like 3 free cards later on. Like that I see more, but like, meh. I still think it's bad. The average starter line of a 2-drop is like a 1.7 or 8 and 2.1. I calculated this a while ago. So you're not like on average you're getting like a 2/2 or like a 1/2 or something. If like a random effect sometimes, which register something, but it's not going to be always Mystic Shot. It's not even like a spell. You can also
you
get
Mystic Shot because you already played Mystic Shot this game.
Yeah, as well.
No. You can get Mystic Shot, but
no, it says new.
It says new.
It's like free.
Yeah, not card you played yet.
It's like Bandle Tree. It's a card that hasn't been played yet. So like, let's say you're like, if you're playing any 2-cost spells or any 2-cost cards in your deck, you won't get those. They're not in the pool anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess we're gonna see how it pans out.
Yeah, interesting that we're like so split about it, but yeah, we'll see. I also underrated Treasure Trash. I was just like, this card is garbage, but it turned out to be a very good card. Don't get me wrong here as well, but yeah, very surprised that you like this one, but I'm maybe underrating it for sure. Next one, Lord Broodmane.
It's fine.
Okay, explain. Well, let me read it, but like 6 mana for a 2/4. Do I have to read more?
Stop.
Like,
You can't, Conan. Read the text. Read the card. Shut up.
6 mana 2/4. Play skill 2 to an enemy, and then while it's on the board, your fast spell, slow spell, skill have when it damage a stunned or damaged enemy, kill it. I gave it a 2, Mick a 5, 0 a 7, Tibu an 8, 0. Explain.
Okay. I actually spoke with Ice-T about this card, okay? And hear me out. This card in Scargrounds is broken. It's broken. Absolutely broken. Because then you can, like, imagine all the combos that you can have. Like, you can play literally anything, and also not just in Scarground, but with Swain, and it's super strong actually.
So you're taking a card to a deck that already loses to Sundisk, for example. You're taking a 6-cost card, and it helps you beat the decks that are like slow mid-range decks even more, but you will lose even harder to Sundisk.
Yes.
Okay. Point has been made.
Okay. But I have to say, Ice-T promised me that he would make top 50 master with this card. So I'm gonna wait and see.
So the guy who qualified with 9 times Flock, the Nihilist, said that Swain is too slow in this meta because you have combo decks, you have like aggro decks, and you say a 6-cost card will bring Swain back to the meta.
Yeah, let's see. We'll see, I guess.
I don't see that.
It's fucking weird. It's fine. I don't know. Like, it's 6 mana in like an archetype that's gonna be so fast. Like, it's just gonna be so fast. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I think at the end of the day, like, it's an execute itself, right?
If it says on the board, yeah. Like it just gives some response, like Black Spell.
No. When you play it, it deals 2, and so like, does it not proc itself?
Yeah, it does. It does.
If it's on the board, yes. Like if your opponent can't deal for damage to a unit on turn 6.
Wait. No. I'm saying, so like, I'm playing this card on turn 6.
Yes.
They have a unit that is damaged.
Yes.
I tap it. I play this card and deal 2 damage to it. Does that thing get executed?
Yes. In response to your skill in the stack, I play a Gust of Wind, like a Black Spare, a Monster Pool, whatever on this card. Then you deal 2 damage to my unit.
I mean, okay. I mean, that's fine. I mean, like, I'm not saying this card's good. I'm just saying, like, at least it's that. You know, it's like a, it's like an atrocity, almost.
Yeah, but my point is, let's make this card a 6-mana 5/4 on play killer unit in Noxus. It would still see no play.
I mean, that's fucking.
It would still see no fucking play because Noxus doesn't need a late game finisher. Noxus will just play Farron in every deck.
True.
Noxus will never have a mid-range archetype that's viable.
True.
Tibu, please save me. Tell them why the card is good.
Tibu is muted. Tibu, do you want to elaborate on Broadman?
He said he was back. Well,
No, I'm here. Okay. Okay, read it again. Okay, you already read. Okay, it says play, deal 2 damage. Your fast spells, slow spells, and skills have when I damage. So you add that. You add this.
Yeah, we read this already, but yeah.
Okay, so that means just for example, I'm going to use an example. Okay. I have Lord Broadman. I want to kill a unit. I cast a fast spell on that unit or a slow spell on that unit. That unit dies, or I play, for example, the Avarosan that frees you, and at the speed of play, you kill a unit. That's damage. Okay, so I think that's the value that this card had. It's not that expensive, of course. Again, for me, it's one off, but it combos very well with certain cards that came with the Annie package also. So I think you add this like a late gamer, then it can help you to control the board also, and not only by just using a pink, but that's the value. A pink can kill a unit like the Disintegrate, so that's why I like it.
I can see all the upsides, but it's like a 6-drop and it's like a Noxus, and it's like never going to see play. Maybe as a one-off, I give you that, but it's not going to bring Swain back. It does nothing against Sundisk. I don't see it at all. Anyways, we won't be agreeing here.
We will see.
Yeah.
No, because it can be played in some archetypes, that. Yeah, it might not curve sometimes, but if you want to use it and remove a lot of units in the cheap way, it can help you with if you come with another spells.
Okay. How many are left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, wow, that's a lot. Maybe we can do it a little bit faster.
We need a gas pedal.
Yeah, it's like falling asleep here. Hunting Boar. We all agree it's like fine. Bad. Let's read it. 3 mana, 2/1, can't block, inferior, last breath, an extra anti-mana gem. It's kinda meh. I don't think you will replace normal ramp cards over it. We go both play with a 4/0, we gave it a 3, Tibu a 5.
Yeah, just to say one thing on it, it's like an aggro ramp card, just like the Overwhelm card, and those have always been bad, and like it's such a weird mixture of concepts that have never made sense for Freljord, so I don't think this is going to be good.
Mm-hmm. Nope. Exactly. Good. Moving on. This one is not going to see play. We all agree on that.
Oh my god, the Tailstones.
Yeah. Harrowing Return. Zero, you don't like it. I see it mostly in Anivia to just bring back a unit. It's a 4-mana slow, revive an ephemeral copy of the strongest dead allied follower and give it... Oh, it's a follower only. I didn't actually read this.
No
Anivia. Whoops.
Yeah. No.
Okay, I would raise it. I lower it to like 5.
No, that just means it brings back the Rekindler.
Yeah.
But
it's okay.
You don't have time to play the Rekindler like most times if you think about it. So
I think I would raise it down to 6 with it if it's like not hitting Anivia directly. I can see it now. So basically you revive one of the guys, the follower, and give enemies -1, -0 this round. I have it at 7, Vic at 7, Tibu at 6, Zero at 5. I can see your argument if you don't have time for Anivia, bring it back. I think this would be the best home for it. But
No.
yeah.
Yeah, unless maybe this is more focused because of the -1 to the Fearsome package, maybe. But I don't see it any other.
Yeah, probably not, but maybe as a one-off it gets tried out, definitely.
Yeah,
So some cards will be tested like this, and we'll see.
Yeah, fun card.
I could see like being somewhat useful potentially. It's one of Inspire Aggro, because then you're just bringing back the Skitterer, and the Skitterer.
That's actually cool, yes.
Yeah, but it will never work. So
yeah, you just draw like a Doom Beast instead and bring the Doom Beast in your set. Okay, interesting card. Blood in the Water. Vic, you don't like Lurk, it seems. Or what like 5 mana slow, Lurk, and deal 1 to anything, then Rally. Vic, why don't you like this card? I still want to hear it. Vic gave it a 5, Tibu a 7, 0 and 8. I have a 9.
did you read my note?
What was your note? And what did you read the card already?
Yes, 5 mana slow and Bilgewater, Lurk, deal 1 to anything, and then Rally.
Yeah. What was your note, Zero?
8. I hate Lurk.
I hate Lurk, okay. I agree.
Yeah.
I think it's good. Vic, why don't you like it? Why don't you think it's good?
No, it's really good in Lurk. It's really good in Lurk. I just don't think that Lurk is going to be like meta defining. I think it's great in Plunder. We're seeing a resurgence in that deck. I put it on 5 because I think it's just like a solid card. I think that this is the style of like. I put cards at 5 if I think that they just slot right into the game and will continue to make the game what it is. And right now, I think that Bilgewater, this card fits so thematically and so well into everything that they have that it's not surprising to me. I love that it has Lurk. I think that it's not even just going to be a Lurk deck card. So it's just going to be another good Bilgewater card, just like the Tentacles one. Just a solid card. I don't know. Like I don't think it's like busted. I think it's fine.
I think it will, like, just having more Lurk cards that are playable will really boost Lurk in general. You don't miss Lurk at all anymore. And it gives you a rally, first of all, and it gives you also like clear weaknesses. Like if you play a lot of these cards, then you can actually like take denies against Lurk maybe or something. You can also hit like it's interesting, and I really like this design.
You can ping a jump blocker out of the way. That's kind of funny.
But yeah, we'll be played in Lurk, but mostly not in other decks, I think.
I'll bump you a 6.
Cool. Legion Deserter. Oh, Tibu, you like it. Legion Deserter, 5 mana 5/4. I actually like this card a lot. Like one of my favorite designs. 5 mana 5/4. Overwhelm, again, all allied everywhere buffs. So, for example, just like Encroaching Mist, stuff like that. Yeah, Tibu, why do you like it at a 9? What deck do you see it in?
Well, of course, you don't see it in a deck right now, but I see it maybe comboing with, and I saw it in the Runeterra CC webpage, where I think that's right. These concepts, when you have the Marauders or the Viego archetype, where Mist just buffs and buff and buff, and then you drop this thing with huge stats, very tall, at 5 cost with Overwhelm. So this can drop at 5 cost. You can have probably it's at 12-11, at 10-9, an 8-7 unit. So with Overwhelm, so I think it's not that expensive. Its stat line is already good for the cost. And it has Overwhelm. If it didn't have Overwhelm, it was probably a bad card. It doesn't matter if it has huge stats. I think that because it has Overwhelm, and it's also a big hitter. And I see, like, for example, let's say you play Marauders. Guy is just imagine Marauders. It's +1/+1. Okay, if you drop 1, then it goes 4/3. These buffs also 1/1. Drop 2 Marauders, it has all the buffs that the Marauder have, and then you're buffing this thing beyond imagination. So I think that's why it's very good for the Noxus archetype of decks that use huge unit with overwhelm that like to hit and finish the game. I think this is like a finisher, very cheap for a finisher, so that's why I like it.
Would you say Diego runs this over like Shurima and Hourglass? This is my problem with it.
It's something that it can be tested, with or also with for example with there are some Noxus Shadow Island that have fearsome units. So you buff the mist rates. This thing is buffing also. So this thing will get huge, and as I said, you just slam it to try to close out.
Okay. Yeah, I can see the potential. I don't see it gets as a home now, but we can see in the future. I gave it a 5, 0, a 4, Vic a 3. Good.
With a 9.
Yeah, that's very optimistic.
Trash.
No, it's not trash. It's like, it's potential. What a cool design.
Garbage. I'm gonna put that I want that on auditory record.
I don't really like it.
It's burned. You say it's burned because it's over.
Oh, it's a 5 mana 5/4. Who cares?
No, but you're seeing only its base stat.
It's fine. It's fine. I don't know. Dude.
Next card is Wharf Rat. We have it as a 2 mana Bilgewater card, 0/3 with Overwhelm. And it has, I have +1/+0 for each different round you've damaged the enemy nexus. And this one's just a 2-drop. It also keeps growing. So if you have it on the board and you damage nexus, it keeps growing. And we all kind of see it's like a fine fillerish card. Like I and Vic have it at 6. Tiburon and Zero, you have it at 8. Zero, where do you see this card played? And what do you like about it?
Yeah, I think it can be flexible, and I really like the concept. So it can be for sure played. I'm not going to say it's broken, but I think it can be played.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely. It's just like a vanilla unit that's Overwhelm. Overwhelm is like kind of new Bilgewater. Didn't have Overwhelm before. It's kind of cool.
So like in Plunder, it's a more flexible unit in Plunder for sure. So.
This card scares me a little bit. I put spooky on this card. Even though I put it at 6, I think this card's spooky.
Okay, we all agree. It's fine. Inspiring Light, we also all agree. It's nice. I had wild arguments already about this card in like other discords. 2 mana, slow, Demacia, grant all it used to be all allies, now it's just grant allies +1/+1. We all have it at a 5, Tibu at a 6. It's going to be fine. It's like, Vic, tell us something about its card.
It is a card, exactly. It gives Demacia Go Wide boards a really easy way to spend 2 mana. Like, I don't know, like, it's just fine. It's very boring. It's very vanilla. And it'll be okay. It gives +1 health. And that's kind of.
You can play it as a one from like Controller's Piles or like Pen City Piles that go wide.
Yeah, and you know what? This is amazing from Contrologist.
Yeah,
W.
Especially. Okay, not too exciting of a card. I really want, like, this is nearing the 3-hour mark, so.
Yeah, get me out. I'm just kidding. I wonder if we should.
Undergrowth is the one we should still talk about. It's a 3 mana Shadow Ice card with it's fast and it has toss 3 and drain 2 from a unit. 0, why do you think it's a 10? I still want to hear that.
Okay, this is actually my only one and only 10 in this expansion because I'm a combo but also control player. Like I've played Darkness for the longest time, and I think this card like it has no downside actually because the toss like you actually don't care because in this game like decking out is not a possibility in like most of matchups. Like I would say 90% of matchups you're not ever decking out, and draining is so strong. Like I honestly think this card can be broken.
Like, do you
scores? I'm sorry.
I saw you just changed it. Like, I and Tibu have it at 6, 0 had it at 10, and Vic, you had it at 3. Now you changed it to 8.
that was just a full typo.
Totally.
This card's crazy.
So you say you also played outside of Deep, so like random other darkness and stuff.
Darkness.
Yeah, you play this in anything. This is a fucking mystic shot.
But like darkness, you just have darkness for like the same thing.
You barely zero darkness.
But that's healed. And you can play this in FTR. You can play this in Frel, SI control, and it's crazy.
No, because there are some cards you don't want to toss.
Yeah, I agree.
Bottom of your deck anyways.
No. You don't want to show your opponent, you don't have them, basically, is my point.
Oh my goodness.
Darkness, I'd play like 1%. You don't care. Like in Darkness, you straight up don't care.
I think it's playable, but I don't think it's like meta breaking. I don't think like that will.
Oh, in Fielder Rush, you don't want Fielder Rush to get tossed. So no.
How are you gonna draw it anyways? If it was like your last card.
By the way, like toss is always from the bottom of your deck.
Yeah.
I know the three. They're going to toss the three.
I'd rather toss my FTR from the bottom of my deck than have them plunder it. Like I don't know. Like hello.
Plunder.
No.
Like okay,
true.
I don't know. Like I don't ever view toss as like an actual downside. Like who gives a shit? Like those cards were at the bottom of my deck. They weren't even going to get drawn anyways. Like that's how I view it. Like hello, I don't know. Like
it gives you opponent information, so it's
okay. But like if you're gonna like hand read a deck read based on my tosses like that, you're already gonna beat me 90% of the time because you're crap. You know what I'm saying? Like. I don't know, like this card seems super good. Like it's a 3 mana fast, like drain 2. Like that's sick.
Okay.
We can see how it turns out. I don't think we will see. I just wanted to hear your argumentation. Darkness is, I can see it basically. Yeah, drain is possible. Okay, Sands of Time. Oh, Vic, you don't like it at all. Why don't you like it at all?
We'll read the card first.
6 mana burst in Shurima. Give enemies -2 -0 this round. Create Instant Century. Instant Century is the one that the clock hand generates. 0 mana focus. You can either advance by 4 or summon a random landmark with countdown.
Yeah, so I gave this a 1, while you gave this Conan gave this a 6, Tiburon gave it an 8, and Zero gave it a 7. So I'm like the lowest one here. I don't know. It's a 6 mana burst spell. I think that's very expensive in Shurima. I think Shurima loves holding up mana. Giving enemies -2 is really funny, but we see Spirit Fire, which is very similar. Not really ever played. Instant Century is also connected to the Clock Hand, another card that's only played in Thralls. I guess this is like a huge Thrall support card. Yeah. If you look at it like that. Like, that's kind of scary, but I think because it only hits that deck, and it's like a 1 of, or maybe a 2 of, like, I
can see it
as being meta-defining.
I can see it in Sundisk. So, like, as a 1 of slot, where you usually play, like, the Clockwork Curator, you instead play this card, you have an answer to white boards, shut them down for a turn, and then you advance your Sundisk by 4. Tibo, what do you think?
So, is a 1 of?
Yes.
Is a 1 of, by our definition, like, meta-defining then? Because that's what I have a 6.
I don't know if it's meta-defining, but it really have a home.
Right. 6 is more than playable.
I see that, for example, they are, like they say, refresh all archetypes, and the Thralls, they already had one card here that helps Thralls also. I don't think Thralls is going to be what they were, but I think they can stand their ground with this couple of cards. Yes, this will help them. Also, it can help Sundisk also, because, for example, in my Sundisk I have the clock, so I can probably not play also the clock and just use this, and it's way better also because it makes the enemies to hold a turn of they hitting your face. So I think it's not that bad. I think it's good. The landmark archetype, I think, is very good.
Okay, I think we can all agree this will final place. Vic, you have been heard as well. Next card, Inspiring. No, wait, we already had that. Sands of Time, Discreet Invitation. That's the one that summons random garbage. 2 mana burst in PNC. Create a fleeting shady character. That's the 4 mana 1/3 that copies a guy, or Champunk Shredder in hand and reduce its cost by 1. So you pay 2 mana up front, and you just basically pay 1 extra for either a shady character or a Champunk Shredder. I gave it a 1, Vic, you gave it a 3, Zero at also a 3, Tibu at 6. Tibu, why do you like this?
Oh, I like the type of versatility it has. Tolerant sound. I know some people forgot our shady character, but in back then, actually, I know. So and the Champuk Shredder, it's very good for clearing some boards. So I like the card overall. It's not probably my favorite. That's why 6. But I think it's playable. I think it has its value with these two cards. That's why I like it.
Okay. I think you just choose between 2 bad options. But maybe sometimes you can actually use those. I just never see a 6-mana Champunk Shredder be really that good. Maybe with graded and stuff, with a Victor or something, Shellfolk. Anyways, it's a card that exists. But we all agree it's not the best card ever. So I think it's fine.
Why did they make this card 1 mana?
Because it would be generated by random stuff.
Yeah, they didn't want it to be in Verbal Fish.
Yeah,
exactly.
Okay, Consult the Heavens. Oh god, it's this card. Value 6 mana burst in Targon. Fully heal an ally, then grow its power equal to its health. So this will make them both equal. You have like a 2/7, they will make it a 7/7 in the end. I gave it a 1, Vic a 3, 0 4, Tibu a 7. Where do you see this card, Tibu?
Oh, what it says. Fully heal an ally, then grow the power health. So it doesn't mean that, okay, it grows the power equal to 4. If it's, for example, a Galio, if it's an Aurelion Soul, if it's a dragon, you just heal the dragon and you have a huge dragon.
No, it's equal. It's equal.
Yeah, that's why it's equal to its health.
Yes. So if you have an Aurelion Soul, you will make him a 10/10.
No, yeah. It says fully heal an ally.
I asked the question to a writer. I asked him if I have a 2/7 Tamkench and I play this card. Does it make him a 7/7 or does it make him a 9/7? And the writer said a 7/7. It makes it equal to the health. 1-1. Doesn't give extra health. It doesn't make you a Aurelion Soul a 20/10.
It doesn't add.
It doesn't add. No, it just makes it equal to the health. I asked this to Riot. I can show you the tweet.
No, that's why you told me what you. Okay, I was wrong when I understand the card.
It's fine, but it's no point arguing.
I misunderstand it. I misunderstand it, and after the explanation, I will. Of course. No, if it's that way, the card is
down to a 4 from a 7.
Okay.
Yeah, because after the explanation, it I don't.
Yeah.
I think it worked all the other way.
Yeah.
It's totally fine. I also thought it's way. That's why I tweeted, but unfortunately, Riot confirmed it's just the bad wording, basically. Like they said, which could also rewrite it a little bit more. But
so I see a lot of people going to get confused.
Totally.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lux. Anyways, next.
Maybe. But we can all agree it's not the best card ever. Maybe you will play it. Of course, in Pharaohs you can play it. If you get rid of Pharaohs, you will play it. But I wouldn't put it in my deck. Maybe in Tamkench Soraka, but it's a meme deck. Anyways. Oh god. Are we there yet? Discrete invitation. Yes, we are there. Oh god. The Tellstones. This will be.
Are we gonna do these?
We can do them quickly.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a lot.
It's fine. So, maybe just in 2-3 sentences, really, because it's 2 a.m. here.
Trifecta card.
So, Vic in general, like you gave all of these Tailstones a very high rating than everybody I've ever met. Maybe you can say it's Tailstones in general. Tailstones, first of all, are like 1 mana burst spells, like 3 sisters, where you get 3 random, like not random, but 3 selected cards. You can talk about them individually. I just wanted to ask first, Vic, if I give you, like you just gave basically a card that everybody deemed unplayable, a 10, a battle 1. Why do you think they are so good? Well,
I don't know. I think I think flexibility is a huge strength for any card. The 1 mana attacks isn't that big of a deal. I mean, we see 3 Sisters being very good. In specifically regards to the Vandal Tailstones, it gives you Heroic Refrain, Yordle Contraption, and Keeper's Verdict. I think that the Heroic Refrain is a very good card to get when you need it. The other 2 are very situational and kind of will fill gaps of removal that you don't really have. So I don't know. I think that most of the Tailstones, I think I rated 1 or 2 very weakly or very low. I think all of them are going to be very very viable and very good in many decks and many places. That's all.
But you're saying they're like the best cards of the whole set, basically. If you give them a 10 and basically nothing else, a 10.
I guess maybe I'm rating them hyperbolically. I just think like they're like, I don't know. They're just very good design, and they're gonna. I'm just stating that they're just like beyond me. Like I can't even comprehend what these cards are gonna do for the game. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Maybe that's a better way to put it. But like I think these cards are very good, very flexible, very adaptable, and will allow and empower many good players to skill gap a lot of people.
Okay, I can see that. Let's we can look through them. But like I have a lot of options for sure, but I don't think we have to talk about every single one in depth. I just wanted to get this out of the way because Vic, you have like we all have very similar ratings for Tailstone. I checked that before, but you were like all over like very differently. That's why I wanted to ask you first for all of them. Anyways, Piltover Tailstone, 1 mana burst. You can get a choice of 3 fleeting cards, like 3 Sisters. It's all of them. So the Piltover one gives you Aftershock, 4 mana slow, deal 3 or destroy a landmark. Transmogulator, 6 mana fast, transform a follower into another follower, and Progress Day. Usually, most of these Tailstones have like 1 card you really would run in your deck. Like if Sisters is Flash Freeze, with Piltover, it would be like Aftershock. And then you can also have the option to have a Hextech Transmogulator or a Progress Day. I gave this card a 4 because the main argument that convinced me of this is Aftershock is already a flexible card. You can either deal 3 to something or destroy a landmark. Adding the extra layer of I can have a Transmogulator or a Progress Day on top of it doesn't really increase it that much. I would also like give the word to Tiburon and Zero first. Like Tibu first, like say something about all the Tailstones in general, like.
And the Tailstones, what's my opinion?
Yeah, like just in general about the Tailstones, so we don't have repeat all of this for each single one of them, and then maybe about the Piltover in particular.
Well, the Piltover in particular, as I see my rating in the average rank, that's 6 for me. For me, 8, it's good. And the 5s for me are like it's not completely trash, but it's not like good for average, And 4, it's for me completely trash. So yeah, for me Piltover they are average because the Aftershock it's okay. The only thing I have with Piltover also probably the same thing that some people have resisted, right? Because it's not only the cost of the spell, it's also the taxing of the mana to use those spells. So after all, these spells are 1 mana expensive than they are originally. Yes, you have the option to create it, and at some point you can use it maybe depending on how your game plan is going. Okay, but you must take into account that, for example, you have a 9 mana Progress Day, a 7 mana Transmogulator, and a 5 mana Aftershock. So you need to pick your spots. The spells per se, they are not that bad. Okay, they do not shock me either. But I think that's why it's just it's in the average. For me, the Piltover, that's why it's in the average.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Zero, do you also want to talk about Tailstones?
Yeah. For me, the best Tailstone potentially is the Demacian.
Mm-hmm.
Because of it's also included in every Lux deck. Even if it's not that good in itself, it like solves you very clunky end where you couldn't level up the Lux while you did like concerted strikes. So it's very, very good. Also, it gives you more options to level her up, and also the Jays. And the other, like I think the other best Tailstone is the Noxian one, because of course more combat tricks, useful spells. The other ones are a little bit unimpressive. Maybe Piltovan ones can solve you like awkward game states against landmarks, but I don't really see other benefits.
Mm-hmm. So the Demacian one gives you either a choice of a prismatic barrier, 3 mana burst, give you a barrier, detain, 5 mana fast, capture it, or for Demacia, 6 mana slow, give you allies plus 3/3. I also really like that because you either can use it if you go wide for Demacia, if you like have one key unit, you can save it, or if you need a removal spell, you just play the prismatic barrier or the detain. Very similar to just the things that the Sisters does that I find really, really cool as well. We are all agreeing here, the Demacian is very good. Like Rick at 10, me and Zero at 7, Tibu at 6. So yeah, we talked about the Piltovian, like in the middle. Shadow Eyes, we also have like in the middle. Shadow Eyes is the one that gives you either the Crumble. It's the Mark of the Eyes, first of all, 1 mana burst, +2/+2 on Ephemeral. That's like the fillerish one. Then we have the Shadow Eyes Stun, Spirit Journey, 5 mana fast, kill a unit and revive it. And then 5 mana slow, Crumble, kill an ally to kill a unit or destroy a landmark. I think this one is really easy play because it's like sometimes one landmark removal, but it's very bad if you have like Crumble in your deck and you don't actually hit any landmarks with it. So this will definitely see some experimentation. I think we all agree on that. And yeah, like you said, Zero, it's like just it's like one of the more interesting ones. Bilge Wall, I think we all have pretty low. Tibu, you said basically your curve ends at 4, so 5 is pretty low for you. Bilge Water gives you like, let me look it up, show it to the stream. Wait, it doesn't show where it's loading. Bilge Water gives you more powder, 2 powder kegs for 2 and a slow. Gives you Chum the Waters. Hello, doesn't load for me.
The spell from
Fizz, yeah. 4 mana fast. Remove an attacking ally from combat to rally. I think this one's underrated. I think it's actually like a decent one.
Yeah.
And then Jump the Waters, 4 mana slow. When an enemy vulnerable, and summon a 5/2 Overwhelm. So like a removal spell, powder kegs, and a rally. I rated this one pretty low because I don't think it's really having a home right now. But definitely see it. We all have it pretty low except for Vic.
Yeah, I think it's.
Who has them all at 10? Yes.
I think giving vulnerable this stuff is really OP. I think rallies are OP, and I think that little pings from more powder and stuff are pretty strong. So I don't know. I think like this card goes super hard in like Nami decks. I think it goes super hard with Fizz. I don't know. I think it's like a cool card. I think all these 3 cards that they gave are all very interactive. And I think that that's super hot.
Okay. Next Tailstone on our list is Aeonian. I think we also can all agree. Like we have Bandle, we have missed Bandle. Tibu at 4, Zero at 4. Zero, you think it's bad then, right? Let's confirm.
No, the Aeonian is 8 for me.
No, Bandle, we are not Bandle. Bandle City, by the way, when we read it out, gives you either. Did you read it out already? I don't think so. Gives you either the Heroic Refrain, 3 mana burst, give 2 allies +2/+1 this round. On Early Contraption, 5 mana slow, destroy a landmark, or create 2 multi-region follows in hand. Keeper's Verdict, 6 mana slow, place an enemy unit on top of the enemy deck. Zero, you say it's bad, or you say it's playable?
Yeah, but Bender is bad.
Okay.
Bad.
We can all agree. Tibu, you also said it 4 the lowest grade, so we all say it's bad except for Vic. Sorry, Vic. You already elaborated on why you think Heroic Refrain is a good card, but like. Yeah. Anyway, Battle, like there are a ton of also like spreadsheets on which playstone is the best. Battle is usually listed as a bottom one on each single one of them. So yeah. Ionian we have at you have 0, you have at a 3. I want to hear that still.
No, I as I mentioned, I don't really like Telstones aside from the ones I mentioned. I think that yes, of course, flexibility is very, very valuable, but I don't think that that kind of flexibility benefits like any kind of that.
Okay. Yeah, like I think Ionian Telestone is fine with the second homecoming copy. You can just play homecoming, and if you need it, you can also do the live pod. Or like Sand United is also fun. Yeah. So you have Ionian, Demacian, Targon. Targon we always say is bad, even Vic says it's bad.
Yep.
Targon is like Pedal Star and
they're very bad.
Pedal Star and Wish and something else. Pull it up once. Targonian. If like still like 20 cards, that's so crazy, but like 12 at least. Vic, you could like put in the last 4 cards in the thingy, the new ones. What's the name?
Yeah, crud. Are they on there? Oh no, they're not. Where are they?
I think Zero sent them to me, and Tibu put them in the list. But we can just like say what our ratings are. We will fill them in. It's fine. It's like 3 hours already. Most people are probably falling asleep anyways.
Yeah, let's go.
And so Shuriman is another one. Crazy. Shuriman, I don't like. You do like it. Maybe quickly, Tibu, where do you see the Shuriman? Tell us on which deck.
Okay. The Ruthless Predator, that's for the Renewal spell, for the ones who don't know what spell it is. The Weight of Judgment, well, it's pretty much okay. Spirit Fire, it's a good removal card, okay, and it's also at War Speed. So that's why I rate like in the middle of the pack, at 6. Because it has, I think, one good card that's Ruthless, one average, below average, more like type of bad, that's Weight of Judgment, and an average to good card for me, that's Spirit Fire. But then again, the rating for me is low. It's slow because what Zero said, you need to pay a cost upkeep for adding to the already expensive cost for these cards, so that's why for me it's 6. It's not that bad like Targon, but it's not also that great.
Okay, last one, Telestone to cover, is the Noxian one. I also think we like all agree. I don't think it has any home right now. Like maybe we ask. Maybe it's 3 cards again. Sharpen Resolve, 3 mana burst, give +3/+2, Whirling Death, battling allies, strikes a battling enemy. And the Weapons of the Lost 8 mana, deal 3 to unit, summon a 6/5 with Fearsome. Zero, you have the highest rating after Vic. In which deck do you see this card? That's my problem with it.
At the moment, I don't think I really see this card in a deck, but I think it has potential,
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you ask me, like, where do you see the card? I don't really know. I can craft with it, but I think it's one of those cards that even if it's not good right now, it will be good eventually.
Okay, I can see that. Like, for potential, I would also give it an 8, but right now I can't see it as like I give it a 4. Tibu at 7, we get 10. Okay, we got through the
too, so they're on the sheet now. If you guys go to the rating tab,
we see it. maybe you can fill it out again. Sorry for not putting it over. I kind of missed it. Okay, you got to the Tailstones. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 cards. So it's...
You just tell me what you want and I'll add it.
And yeah, strategic execution, we all agree, is kind of bad or kind of medium. It's a 4-mana Noxus slow spell, stun 2 enemies, or spend 6 mana to summon Legion General. Legion General is this 4/5 mana 4/4 fearsome. When it's summoned, grants me +2/+1/+1 for each unit you've stunned or recalled. Used to be on play, they changed it to summon. And yeah, I don't know. Zero, do you want to talk about this card shortly?
I don't really know what to say.
Okay, Timo, do you want to talk about this card shortly?
Give me a minute. Yeah. I think this card is a little bit average. Okay. You need to have like some specific combos that you will have with this Yasuo stunning packages or this Ionian. This is for this type of packages, the stunning packages. Because if not, I don't see why you get a value out of the Legion General. So that's why for me it's a very rich card. I don't see it's a lot of play, maybe one off, but
I agree. So I gave it a 4 because 6, Tibu a 6, and Tiro a 7. Definitely can agree on that. Okay, Wings. Sorry. Yeah.
Flexibility, and as I said before, like if your card is flexible, for me it's always like 1 vote up.
Yeah, I can see that for sure. And this one is a little bit surprising to me. You think Wings of the Crypto Phoenix. Is it actually called Wings of the Crypto Phoenix, or did I?
Mario Phoenix.
Okay, I can't write. it's crypto. Crypto is crashing. Deal 3 to all units, 7 mana slow in Freljord. Deal 3 to all units, enlightened heal your Nexus. What did you do?
I think that card is so bad, honestly.
Hey, why break the spreadsheet? Sorry.
Oh,
I can't see anything anymore. Yep.
Who broke the spreadsheet? The spreadsheet?
It's fine. Zero, you say the card is so bad.
Yeah, I don't think you'll ever have time or space to play it, actually. Like, I honestly think that card has like almost no places, because even if you want to play potentially in Anivia or in FTR, I don't think you have the time, I don't think you can actually play. I don't think you have exactly the space to play it, and you're gonna get punished.
So my point on playing it is like 3 damage is a lot versus scouts. I am a scout player and I look at my notes. Against every Avalanche deck it says play Broadwing on 2, play MF on 3, play Vulgar Sergeant on 4, plus all of these 3 health units. And I think it's very reasonable to, like, if you have like 4 mana or 12 mana banked up on turn 2 or so, and then you ramp a little bit, then that you can play this on turn 4, turn 5 pretty easily and feel the rush. And if I go like MF into Vanguard Sergeant and you have like a Broadwing and you kill all of those with one spell, I think that's very powerful. That's why I gave it a line.
I guess that's true against Scout. But even then, like Scout can just RR.
Yeah, Range to Resolve.
Range.
That's true, but every card has like a counter.
I like to play Anivia a lot, and I like to play this Fragile Shell Island archetype. And for me, it's above average because of what you just said, and also because what Zero said. It's expensive, yes, but it's a huge removal. And if you know how to play the archetype, then you will see that it's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's a little bit cheaper than the Trundle cost card, yes, but it also kills your Nexus. Probably that's why I like it, because it still kills your Nexus. And of course, you're playing this card in the archetypes where some of your units are bigger than the opponent units. So most of the time. So that's why I like it. I'm not crazy about it. I need to put it into practice, so that's why I give it a 7, not higher, not lower.
Nice. Next card, Celestial Trifecta. Oh god, you like this one as well. It's so. It's the 6 mana burst. You get a low, so 0 to 3, cost Celestial, a medium, 4 to 6 Celestial, and a high, 7 to 10 Celestial. I gave it a 2. I think it's way too slow, and you will never ever play it in any deck. You will generate it from Pharaohs, yes, but you will never ever put it in the deck. Maybe it's a one-off, but then it's just star shaping. I don't know, like Zero Tibu, someone.
Yeah, and that's why I said, like, I gave him I gave him a good vote, I think, if I remember correctly.
7, yes.
In the notes I said only Pharaohs. If not from Pharaohs, like, it's 1.
Okay.
I think it's playable.
Okay, Zero, Tibu Vic, do you want to find it actually playable or?
It's super fine. I wish the wording messed me up, but it's fine. It's just a card. I don't think it'll be crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's it's. I like it. I like it. I like the it gives you, because it gives you a low, medium, and high constellation. So it gives you 3 cards, okay, from 3 different pools, so you can play it at it has, for me, it has that flexibility, and of course it can help you at some times. So that's why I see that's good. That's good for the Targonian type of archetypes of decks. So that's why I give it a rating, because of the pool of cards it can give you.
Okay.
Most of the invoke cards, they are very good.
Nice. Next card, Dragon Roost. Zero, why don't you like this card? Wait, first of all, it's a 3 mana landmark, 3 mana Targon, landmark, count on 3, you summon Involuous Vox. Involuous Vox is a 6 mana 5/6 dragon that is already in the game, and an ally Fury kills an enemy for the first time each round. You create a random dragon follower. Why don't you like this, Zero?
Will you ever have the time to play this card?
Yeah, just on 3. Like, why not?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, you play this card on 3, and an opponent like runs like. The problem is that I think that turn 3 is one of the most important turns of the game, and if you're on a target deck, like, let's imagine we're target and you're playing this card, what stops our opponents from just aggroing us down? Like, we are spending 3 mana on a landmark that's gonna come down in 3 turns. It's too slow, I think.
Well, guarantees we stabilize later, so we just have to survive 3 turns, not worry about the ball action.
This is for the Dragon archetype. You don't see this card outside the Dragon archetype.
Yeah.
But for the archetype, I think it's a very good card also, because yes, you will see a big coming 3 turns after, but you are also saving 6 mana for invoking a unit. And you will get your dragon plus something you can play 3 turns later. Because obviously most of the dragons are expensive, so that they come with a very high upkeep.
That's also true. But the problem is, I think, spending 3 units mana on this turn 3 puts you too far behind in tempo.
You can also play it in Thalia and Malphite and just accelerate it, copy it with Thalia and turn 5.
Yeah, but
actually, you mentioned it. Just imagine that I haven't think about it. You use Thalia you just one turn before it procs, and you have 2 Inviolus box. So
okay, actually that's already a better line of play, because if you think about it, you do turn 1 Chemist, turn 2 the 3/1 guy. And turn 3, you can put these. You have already solid board. You can actually survive. Turn 4, you put the Endless Devout. And turn 5, or the
you curve out basically. That's exactly.
And then on turn 5, you curve out with the Thalia. Yeah.
Okay.
Thalia Malphite, it's playable. I don't think it's ever playable out of Thalia Malphite. I think Dragon Archetype is
good. It's fine. Good. Next card, Dragon Ambush. We all agree that this is a good card. It's like the 5-mana slow starter 3 attack with 2 Dragon Links. Dragon Link, of course, being the 2-1 ephemeral lifesteal that the Eye of the Dragon makes. This one we see a lot of play in Aziralia. We all gave it a good rating. Vic and Zero at 6, Tibu at 7, I at 8. Any quick sentences? Like, we all know it's going to be good.
Aziralia.
Yeah. Good.
It helps Aziralia against aggro matchups, which were the worst for Aziralia. So GG.
Yeah, GG. Definitely helps a lot of matchups from this deck. Good. Bakai Witherclaw, we all have it pretty low except for Tibu. Like, I don't know if your 6 is like our 3, is how I understand it. Bakai Witherclaw is a 5-mana 5/4 Shurima. When an enemy is challenged, give it -2, -0 this round. This works as vulnerable. But I don't see this card being run at all or a lot. 0 at 1, me at 3, Vic at 4, Tibu at 6. So we all think it's like kinda meh. Tibu, would you ever put this in your deck? Or just say it exists?
Okay, when I use this challenge, remember that the vulnerable is also a way to challenge.
Yeah, I just said that, yes.
So that's why I like it. Maybe with that, it's helping you removing some units in the board. So for me that's average, not good, not great. It's just an average. And maybe you can main deck one maybe 2 of these to help you with all these Shurima and landmarks that give the vulnerable to the units. So it can help you just to get a better trade. So that's
okay.
The first time I saw it, I was thinking about it with like the combo of a Merciless Hunter. You put Merciless Hunter and then you challenge something. But then I thought, why would I ever want this when I can just send use the 2-mana token?
Making sense, exactly.
Yeah, and so I thought, okay, but this card is low. It's kind of useless because I can just remove something with an ephemeral unit, that has 5 attack, and I don't care about it dying because it will die anyway. So I think this is a bit of a useless card. Maybe in the future, we don't know what the future holds.
Maybe in the future, exactly. Okay, Haunted Tomb is the next card here. Oh, you don't like it. Zero, interesting. Haunted Tomb, 3-mana, landmark, card on 2, revives the strongest dead ally. I actually legitimately see this with a Talia archetype. Can you just make a lot of Talias on the same turn?
Like what? It's Shadow Wilds.
Yeah, it's fine. You just have all the Shurima cards, Rockhopper, Preparation, stuff like that, and you play this card, then just revive your Talia. So Zero gave it a 1, I gave it a 7, Tibu an 8, Vic a 4.
Tibu, why did you give it an 8?
Well, I like, for example, with a Field Rush, you can revive from the ally. It can be one of your champions, for example. So that this is the one that you can combo with Rekindler, with Anivia, for example. Also, so that's, for me, that plays this type of archetypes. I think it's very useful. Also with Diego.
Maybe, yes, with Diego, maybe.
So that's why okay, maybe Diego, no, but Rekindler into Diego again. So or the Hydra Man. So
possible.
I think with these decks that combo very well with Shadow Island, it can help you. It can help you a lot.
It will never give you Rekindler into Diego. It will always give you Diego because it's the ally. It's the strongest ally. Diego is a 5/4. Rekindler is 4/4.
No, I mean, depending on what happens. I mean, okay. If you don't play video, well, yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Okay, then we have the 4 new cards. I don't think we actually have, you should be the rating. No, wait, how is it called? The Grey. Apothecary.
Broken.
Wait, do we fill it out yet? Why can't the gray? It's with A. Wait, do we write gray with A? I'm getting crazy. No, Vic, you mistyped it, right? It's like a typo in the thingy here. 2-mana landmark. Noxus, when an ally with 5+ power dies, create a random follower with 5+ power in hand. Keep in mind, this is not limited to Noxus followers or just followers in general. You can get an Atakan, you can get a Cytheria, you can take like a random card basically.
How do you guys feel about this?
I will give it a boy, this is a hard card to rate. I will give it a 5. I think it's going to have a home, but it's like weird. Vic, you gave it a 1, Tibu a 3, 0.
I think like 7.
Average 4.0. Vic, you have a 1. Why do you say it's terrible?
I don't know. Reputation's really bad.
Okay.
I don't know. It's just not. I don't know. I didn't spend too much time looking at this card. I saw it and I was like, alright, it's a 2-mana. When an ally with 5+ power dies, create a random. It goes into your hand. I don't know. It's just like super slow.
But imagine this value. Like, just close your eyes. Imagine you're going to bed and you just see the Viego and the Legion Saboteur deck, and then you have like all of these 10 ephemeral mists dying, and you get like all of this value with your random followers with 5+ power in hand. Isn't this like?
Oh, it doesn't break. So it's every time. Oh.
Wait, do you think it breaks?
I thought it broke.
No.
I thought it was like
it's infinite value.
That's a little spicy, but I also think like Viego Nox is not going to be good, but it's fine.
I
it's
think
a little scarier. I'll bump it up to a 3. How about that?
Okay.
I can say it. It's I thought it broke the first time, but it doesn't, so it's not that bad.
Zero, where do you see this card? I like to give it a 7, like very high.
Yeah, I think like infinite value like this, especially in archetype like reputation. Like for example, if you put the 5/1 unit, like you don't even care anymore if they ping you your 5/1 unit challenger, or if you just have to trade it in some suboptimal trades, you're just getting value back. So I think it's a very big like value funnel to like reputation, which like lacked a little bit of draw when it didn't see like the assessor.
I agree. Cool card. Next, Papa with a Great. I actually don't even know what this card does. 3-mana 2/2 Yordle in Battle City. And when I summon, create a random Yordle in hand. Attack, grant other allied Yordles +1/+0. Average stat line of a random Yordle is a 2/2. So 3-mana 2/2 gives another 2/2 and an attack. He permanently buffs all other Yordles. Vic gave it a 6. Tibu gave it a 6. I think I will. I think I actually really like this card. I'll give it a 7.
No, I think it's very bad. I think the only way it's good if you're playing Lulu Jinx and you get this from Yordle Portal.
But we're just saying if you put it in your deck. So if you just put it into deck, a 1.
I would never. Because why would I put this over Mayor?
Because it's like aggressive. It's like damage.
Why would I put this over Scraphead?
Because it's like a unit. It replaces itself. Scrappy is like a completely different effect.
Nah, not really. I think. I think they're kind of similar in a sense. I don't like.
Like Scrappy gets rid of a card in your hand to give you like a big card. This guy gives you another small guy. It's like more of a Grandfather Fair number 2 for Yordles. It buffs all of the other guys.
If his effect would have been like when I'm summoned, discard the card in your hand to create a random Yordle, it would have been better.
Maybe, but maybe not. Okay, it's fine. We can agree to disagree. 1 for 0, 6/6, and Vic and Tibu. Vic, do you want to say something on the card?
For which one?
The Paparo agree.
No, it's fine. It's cool. Yeah, we can go to Obedient Recount.
Okay. Oh, 10. Wow. Should we read this card? Obedient. Oh, this is the crazy one, right? The one.
Katarina follower.
2 mana, 4/1, quick attack, immobile, When it attacks, I attack with it. Insane and as earlier. Except it's Noxus.
But it's fine. Ooh, I'm so hyped about this.
Arena.
Yes, Vic gave it a 10, Tibu gives it a 9. I'm a little bit more pessimistic about it, I give it an 8. I think it's like more of a sandstorm,
Pessimistic 8, okay.
It's similar to the landmark that summons like Sand Soldiers in your attack. If you can just kill all the other guys, you don't really have to deal with it. And even it even dies to like a random avalanche and stuff. Maybe it would.
But it's 2. So it reminds me of.
Yeah, but if you play it on 2, it can't attack. Like if you play it on 2, it deals 0 damage because it can't attack with it.
But if you have a minion already.
Yeah, then you're not already. If you have 1 and 2.
Yeah.
No, but you can trade very well because. So that's. So it's for 2 cost 4/1. Yeah, it can dice against any control. I know, but it has quick attack. So the trade value, it's
Burn.
Yeah, it's Byrd.
It's good.
So what do you give it?
7.5.
I give it's also like if 7.5 is an option, I would also want 7.5.
8.
8.
8, because I think this card has a lot of deck building potential. It's very aggressive. It forces opponents to trade. Yes, it dies to Pokestick, but it forces a Pokestick out.
Yeah, it's hot. I'm down to trade a Pokestick for this.
Mm-hmm. I think it can be a little bit awkward at sometimes. There was like similar effects in Magic where you have like a unit that's like not a unit, and it's like a landmark and it turns into a unit. Like if you do something, and those cards are always kind of bad. I feel like this is kind of the same, but yeah.
Consider that we have the unit as Challenger, but you trade that unit and that unit dies. This mostly when trading cannot die with some units because it has quick attack. That's why I think it's wrong.
But you will never change something with it. Like I don't know, we will have to find it out. I think it's a good card as well. But yeah, moves us to the last card, like almost 4 hours in. And it's Petricide Pillar. It's a 2-mana landmark in Demacia, second Demacia landmark ever. And it says all spells cost 2 more, but it is countdown 2. So it will go away after 2 turns. I think it's garbage to give it a 1. But Vic gives it a 3, Tibu gives it a 3/0.
Oh, I think it's very interesting.
Interesting for sure, yes.
7, because I think.
Oh, really?
I think like almost only deck, almost only units like the Demacia, like elite deck, like a resurgence of maybe elite or maybe some reputation style deck without many spells. This card can make like a Felix go AFK, Pantheon Yumi go AFK, not Scout so much, but a lot of deck like Ezra Caitlyn goes kind of AFK. Like a lot of decks can be punished really hard by Petricide Pillar.
This is maybe like a tech card for tournaments and stuff, but I don't think I would run this in ladder ever.
Yeah. Ladder, it's not a ladder card, but it's super strong.
Yeah, I like it for tournaments for sure. Most of us just play ladder, but if you're like a tournament player, then consider this card. Anyways, that's the last card for our almost 4 hour review. If you made it so far, then you're really one of our dearest viewers, or like you are asleep, falling asleep listening to us while lying in your bed. Anyways, this was a little fun. I am really excited for tomorrow. I'm really exhausted now. Thank you so much for joining. I really loved doing that with you, and thank you for taking this insane amount of time sitting here with me and with Vic to just talk this through. I hope you also had fun. It's really, amazing.
And you know why we don't worry about it? Because we always be gaming.
Yes, always be gaming. Anyways, check out I don't know if you linked the Always Be Gaming channel. Check out our poetry Discord for sure. Our socials. We all have Twitter. Some of us have Twitch streams. I will link all of those in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye to the next review.
Bye.
Thank you very much. Goodbye.